What is up? What is up? Give me 1 second, everybody. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check to see if we're actually up and running. It looks like we are. What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? Let me know in the chat if you guys are able to hear me. And let me know how the audio sounds. What's up? What's up? Hunter Gun, how's it going? G Combat, how are you doing, bro? Lowens, how are you doing, bro? How's everybody doing? How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, sorry for the delay on that. My time management is probably my weakest stat IRL. You said the audio sounds good. That's good to hear, bro. Yeah, I was supposed to start this live stream 4 hours ago. But I just wasted a bunch of time. Like, I said that I was going to start it 4 hours ago. Then I went and got food. And then I started watching, like, jujitsu clips on YouTube for, like, an hour. And then I actually made the live stream. And that took me, like, an hour and a half. And then I just tested the audio, and here we are. So I wasted a good, like, 2 of those hours. What's up, Bromus? How you doing, bro? How's it going, everybody? So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about Hisoka versus Razor, and I did a poll on this yesterday. I did a poll on, or no, maybe it was 2 days ago now. And what we're gonna do is, like, I have some points laid out, and I'm going to give my ideas on it, and then we're gonna head over to the community poll and, like, read some of the reasoning for the top comments and, like, debate some of the top comments. I had also put out the Discord link, the public Discord link. So, like, if you wanted to join in on the debate and, like, speak during this debate and, like, share some points, there's an opportunity for that too. Like, and you still could do that if you go to the community poll, click that link, and then just let me know that, like, you'd want to be part of the live stream too at the very end, like when we get to the debate portion. If you disagree with, like, what I'm saying, you can join the debate. You just have to be respectful, like, no insults or anything. And yeah, and then you can actually be part of the live debate. So if you wanted to join in on the debate, the link to it, it's, if you go to my, like, community, here, I can just show you it real quick. It's right here. Like, if you go to my community tab, so, like, you go to my channel and you click posts and you scroll down here. This is the post I did, like, it says a day ago. You click this one. I think it's one of the comments. Yeah, I pinned it. So if you want to join into the debate, you go here and then you click this link. And there should be a voice channel. Just, like, hop into the voice channel and then you can start speaking. But yeah, you just have to be respectful. And before you, like, hop in, let me know in the live chat here, like, tag me, say, like, at Lilo's Adventure, I have some counterpoints. And then, and yeah, we could do that. We could have, like, a couple people hop in that way if you want, like, at the end of this part. So, WYRM said, how long do you think you'll be streaming? Probably, like, an hour. But, dude, my, like, judgment of time is not good. Like, so many times I'll say, like, oh, yeah, this will be a quick stream, 30 minutes, and it ends up being, like, an hour and a half. I do that all the time, so that might happen. And what did you say? Guru Pirate said, love your videos, brother. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that a lot. Bromus, what's up, bro? What's up, everybody? So, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started, okay? So, first, we're going to be going through a few points for, like, Hisoka. Then we're going to analyze Razor's strength. And then I'll give my stance on it. Then we're going to look at the top comments, and then we're going to open it up to a live debate. So, like, the live debate portion will probably be, like, 45 minutes from now, if you guys wanted to, like, do that, okay? So let's get into it. What's up, Snillium? How's it going? Okay, so first off, when we're talking about how strong is Hisoka overall, one of the big things that I see people debating is, like, the idea of is the current Hisoka stronger than like the start of the series Hisoka? Okay, so I'll just give you like a couple different points in my reasoning behind it, like my idea on this concept. And if you guys disagree with me, then like you can let me know in the chat, and then definitely bring it up during the debate portion too. Okay. And just remember, anyone who wants to debate me, like in your comment, write at Lilo's Adventure. I don't know if you need a space in between Lilo's and Adventure or not in the chat, but try both, and one of them you'll see it'll like tag me, so that way later I can read your debate points faster. But let's get into it. Okay, so my stance on it is this: like, the story goes out of its way several times to explain to us that postmortem Nen is a very powerful tool in Hunter x Hunter. It's like a very powerful, I don't know if you would call it an ability, but it's something that enhances strength a lot. Okay, so like one of the first times we ever see it mentioned throughout the story is actually by Finks. This is right before Greed Island begins, and he's explaining to Gon and Killua the reason that the Phantom Troop is not hunting after Kurapika right now is because they fear that if they killed him, Kurapika's hatred would turn Judgment Chain into postmortem Nen and just obliterate Chrollo. Like, essentially, like, this is our first time really seeing that postmortem Nen is dangerous. It's so dangerous that it's stopping the entire Phantom Troop from pursuing revenge against Kurapika, because they're saying, like, if we kill Kurapika right now, his Judgment Chain would probably become postmortem Nen and just end Chrollo. Okay, so this is our first time like getting introduced to it. It's a powerful enough force to just stop the Phantom Troop in their tracks. And then we get a bit more explanation on it. I don't even know if this part's in the manga or not. I mean, in the anime, but it is in the manga, where they state that Nen exorcists in Hunter x Hunter are rare. Like, that's a rare thing to be able to do in Hunter x Hunter. It might be like a specialist type. I'm not 100% certain on that, if like every Nen exorcist is a specialist type, but Nen exorcists are people who can like remove Nen from other people, like remove some kind of Nen ability that you've been affected by. Nen exorcists can just remove that from people. And out of all the Nen exorcists in the world, there's less than 10 Nen exorcists who can remove post-mortem Nen. Less than 10 in the entire world. So that's another way of them telling us that like post-mortem Nen is a like magnitude more powerful than normal Nen. It's a really big deal. Like, the fact that less than 10 Nen exorcists in the whole world can remove post-mortem Nen is pretty crazy. Okay. Now, one of the next times we see like postmortem Nen getting hyped up is actually in the beginning of the Hisoka versus Chrollo fight. If you guys haven't seen this fight or read it recently, I highly recommend reading it again. It really is like one of the coolest strategic battles in the entire series, in my opinion. But because it shows you like the limitations of Hisoka's abilities, or gives you a pretty good understanding of his limitations, and you also get to see like what Hisoka's strengths are. Here, one second, let me drink some of this water. Okay, Hunter x Hunter Grandmaster, what's up, bro? But yeah, this fight's crazy, and even Hisoka like hypes up the concept of postmortem Nen here. So like at the beginning of the fight, and Chrollo was telling Hisoka, like, look, bro, this is not going to end well for you. I am promising you I will 100% for certain defeat you. Like, I put a lot of planning into this, and I set the fight up so that all the conditions guarantee that I'm going to win. And Hisoka said, like, that's a pretty normal thing for me to face. Like, that's actually something I enjoy. I like fighting people who have, like, all the advantages, have elaborate plans, have everything set up for victory, and I still win anyway. Like, that's something I enjoy doing. That's basically what the right panel's telling you. But then right after this, Chrollo's like, okay, but I also have postmortem Nen too. And like that, to Hisoka, like that's like a higher degree of danger than an elaborate plan is. Because right after right after Chrollo mentions that he has postmortem Nen, that's where Hisoka's like, mentality changes. He goes from saying like, yeah, this is normal stuff, an elaborate plan where you're certain you're gonna win, that's normal. I go through that all the time. But then he's like, oh, but I have postmortem nen though. And he's like, okay, that's actually pretty troublesome. So like that's another way of the story telling you that postmortem nen is like another magnitude of danger. And then I had this panel on the right where you see Hisoka fighting a bunch of like nen puppets. This is just interesting because like this fight you get to see more into like Hisoka's fighting style than any other battle that he displayed in the series, because like during all his other battles he's pretty much like just memeing on people, like letting them attack him and stuff, and just kind of being, I don't know, I don't even know how to describe it. A lot of his other fights you could argue that he's holding back. Like against Gon, it's confirmed he's holding back. Like he doesn't use his playing cards. He's barely even trying the entire fight. Against Castro, you could argue he's holding back too, because he's like letting Castro like rip his limbs off and stuff. But here in this fight, Hisoka's really like trying his best to stay alive, right? And you get to see more than just his physical strength. You get to see his like mental strength. Like throughout the entire fight, he's analyzing Chrollo's abilities. But not only that, he's like one-shotting these nen puppets all throughout the fight. And it's something I actually don't see people talk about that often, is how, like, Killua, for example, gets hyped up for one-shotting characters a lot. But no one really talks about, like, how Hisoka's just one-shotting, like, hordes and hordes of nen puppets. Just going for kill shots with, like, single strikes throughout the entire fight. Like, he's just decapitating people, like, ripping their heads off, chopping their limbs off. Jojo posing throughout the whole fight while having like really in-depth inner monologues about how their powers work. And another thing, like the panel on the left, this is actually one of my favorite panels in this fight, because it shows you what Hisoka's abilities look like to someone who's not using Gyo, or to someone who's not a nen user. Hisoka, he just makes it look like things are flying if you can't see his bungee gum. And that's actually another thing he does intentionally, right? Like, this is why he's called, like, Hisoka the Magician. It's because, like, if you can't use Gyo or you can't see Nen, then it just, to you, it just looks like things are flying. Or he's making things levitate. So he looks like a magician. And he also, like, it was shown during during Heaven's Arena, that he uses a nen ability called Een that makes your nen invisible. So like even if you're a nen user, you can't see bungee gum unless you use Gyo at the same time. So like Hisoka's just a very like crafty fighter. And the panel on the right is just Hisoka like thinking through this elaborate, like all these powers that are attacking him. He's just like evaluating them, elaborating these plans while he's fighting hordes of puppets at the same time. It's a really cool fight. I recommend like going back and watching it. But the way Hisoka handles these nen puppets, you could use this as an argument for him being able to handle Razor's nen beasts. But I'll save that like for later, for like debate stuff. For now, I just kind of want to highlight Hisoka's strengths and talk about his abilities a little bit. Rami said, bro, these streams always my time, 1 a.m. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. Where he said, Lilo, did you just start? Yeah, I just started. Like, we're like 10 minutes in at most. I think 10 minutes. But yeah, so here I just want to talk about some of the powers that Hisoka displayed in in his fight with Chrollo, because this is like the furthest we've seen him like ever really try. So first off, something that was mentioned during his fight against Gon is anytime he hits you, he can attach bungee gum to you. So like, if he punches you at some point in the fight, usually you're just going to be trapped by him or like stuck to the bungee gum, essentially. He's always like making his bungee gum invisible on top of that. That's why he looks like a magician. And then we see here, he can actually shoot bungee gum from each of his fingers, like individually. He's shooting like multiple strands of bungee gum at once. Yeah, this is a scene where he's getting swarmed by like hundreds of these nen puppets. I think it was a combination of like hundreds of nen puppets and actual people that were in the stand, and like Chrollo manipulated them with a nen needle. Yeah, I need to review some of the fight again. I don't remember if these were all nen puppets or if some of them were like actual humans too. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if there were actual humans in this mix. So, let me know if you guys remember. But this scene was really cool. He like shoots out multiple strands of bungee gum, collects multiple people at once, turns them into a battering ram, and starts like slamming hordes and hordes of people, just turning them into mist essentially. Like I said, I don't remember if there were actual people mixed into this or if they were all Nen puppets. If they were all Nen puppets, that's actually more impressive in my opinion. I don't know the exact durability of a Nen puppet, but I'd assume it would be higher than an untrained human being. But yeah, and he was just slamming them into mist. And then something he says here is that he could knock them away all day using that technique. But the Nen puppets like kind of operate like zombies. They don't stop moving unless you destroy their heads. And then you see Hisoka just immediately like decimating 3 people's heads like with one attack. Because he like ripped off one of the Nen puppets' heads, coats it in Nen, and is using it as like a bowling ball slingshot, and it's just like one-shotting people with it. But yeah, Hisoka's abilities are pretty cool because not only is he using bungee gum to like look like a magician, but he also has his playing cards that he uses as blades. So like throughout the fight, you see him like chopping people up too. Like if you look right here on the right, he sliced this Nen puppet's arms off. While he's like obliterating the heads of other Nen puppets. And then over here, you see he's like chopping people's heads off with the cards. So it's because he's taking a card, covering it with Nen, and like using it like a knife that he can throw and like bring back to him and stuff. So he has like very versatile abilities. He doesn't really need real weapons. He can just use playing cards, and like bungee gum just makes up for the rest of it. He's pretty, like, his fighting style is pretty unique. And something I was thinking is, like, reading Hisoka fights, he's like the most like a JoJo character. Like, out of all of the characters in Hunter x Hunter, I'd say he's the most like a JoJo character. Like, he poses mid-battle. His attacks are just, like, hard to understand what's happening. He fights like a JoJo character. So he's a pretty cool character, honestly. But, okay, next, I want to talk a little bit more about like the argument for whether or not Hisoka's postmortem Nen made him stronger, because that's like an actual ongoing debate in the community that I've seen. Like whenever I talk about Hisoka postmortem Nen, I always see in the comments there's people saying like postmortem Nen did not make Hisoka stronger. All it did was like bring him back to life. So this is my argument like against that, okay? But before I get into that, let me just scroll through some of these comments. Yo, Professor Fiction, what's up, bro? How are you doing, man? Yeah, everyone in the chat, if you haven't seen Professor Fiction's videos, I highly recommend them. He also makes Hunter x Hunter videos. He also makes One Punch Man power scaling videos. He makes a lot of really good content. So, like, if you like my videos, you would guaranteed also like his. So I recommend checking out his channel. What's up, Professor Fiction? How are you doing, bro? You said kind of nuts that Crollo saw it fit to just puppet spam when he's capable of fighting 2 Zoldycks at the same time hand to hand. That is very nuts. I mean, something I was thinking is it definitely seems like he put much more preparation into fighting Hisoka than he did fighting Zeno and Silva at the same time. That was also another idea I had. I think that, well, let me know what you guys in the chat think. Do you think that Crollo like prepared to fight Zeno and Silva at the same time? Like put some sort of plan together? Because it seemed like, well, he had prior knowledge that they were going to assassinate him, right? Like that's why he hired Illumi, because he knew that they were coming to kill him. So he had like at least a little bit of time to prepare for that fight, but I don't know if it was like 100 chapters worth of preparation the same way he did for fighting Hisoka. But Bromish, you said Crollo almost died. Oh yeah, against Zeno and Silva, yeah. But in this fight, Crollo's plan was honestly so perfect that he really wasn't in much danger throughout the whole fight. I think Hisoka lands like 2 hits on him, and I think one of the hits Crollo expected to be hit by. Yeah, it's actually a very interesting fight to analyze. But before I continue with like analyzing Hisoka's powers, Was there any questions on anything I went through so far? I just scrolling through. I don't see any questions, so I'll just keep going. But yeah, if you guys have questions, just make sure like tag me with Lilo's Adventure first. That way I can see it more quickly, okay? Oh, Professor Fiction said Crollo didn't even feel the need to use his bookmark. That's true. And honestly, I don't know if he had the bookmark when he fought Zeno and Silva. That's something I would have to double check. He might have always had it, or maybe he developed it like to prepare for Hisoka. That's something I need to double check because I don't actually know. He like no, because he might have had it. He might have had it when he fought Zeno and Silva and just didn't use it. I'm not sure. But anyway, so talking about Hisoka's postmortem Nen, because like a big debate point people say is all it did was revive him. It didn't make him any stronger. So I'm going to analyze that here and give my stance on it. Okay, so in the panel on the right, we see Crollo like detonated a bomb and blew Hisoka's like left hand off. And then the next panel, Hisoka states he won't be able to make precise Nen manipulations with his left hand because it was blown off. But he can still use his legs. And he starts using bungee gum from his feet and like using it to travel and stuff. That's another really cool thing about bungee gum is he can use it to amplify his speed and like avoid attacks. He also did that against Goto. Against Goto, he was using bungee gum to avoid attacks and like using it to amplify his speed to a point where Goto couldn't even see him anymore. An interesting discussion point. Like, you guys know that one scene where Hisoka's zipping around in the forest using bungee gum? What do you think is faster, him doing that or Killua and Godspeed like running in a circle? What do you think would be faster? I'd like to know what you guys in the chat think. And Professor Fiction, I agree. It is definitely still a W for Hisoka no matter what. But anyway, so he couldn't use Nen out of the hand that got blown off. This is some like he specifically says that, like, thinks this to himself. So he's not lying to fool Crollo or anything. He's just straight up saying he cannot make precise Nen manipulations with his left hand because it got blown off. So he starts using his feet instead. Okay? And then the same thing happens like later into the fight. There's another explosion, and you see in the left panel, this is right after Hisoka dodges an explosion, which is a pretty crazy speed feat for Hisoka. Like he dodges like an explosion partially. He still gets damaged by it, which we see in the right panel. His foot was blown off by the explosion. But the reason I'm putting this here is because Hisoka tried to shoot bungee gum out of his right foot. And like the panel on the right shows like nothing happens. It's because his foot is gone. He cannot shoot Nen out of it. Like you see on the left panel, he's thinking to himself, like, extend to the ceiling. And then the right panel is him trying, and he's like, oh, there's no foot there. I can't do it. So then he just uses his other leg. And this is actually what leads to Hisoka dying. Okay? Now, the reason I'm putting these panels here is because we see once he comes back from postmortem Nen, he immediately regenerates his limbs using bungee gum. That's a new ability. Because if he always had that power, he would have used it right here. Like, this is something I haven't really seen a counter argument to that, because people say, like, something I've seen people say, they'll say that postmortem Nen didn't make him stronger, didn't give him anything new. All it did was revive him. But it's like, if that was the case, then that means Hisoka literally just let himself die for fun, which does not seem likely. And he doesn't even mention like, oh, I could just regenerate my foot with bungee gum. He doesn't mention that like in his internal monologue, you know. So like that's pretty strong evidence that postmortem Nen gave him like new powers, new abilities. But let's just keep going, because yeah, this leads to his death. Like if he had the abilities he displays after postmortem Nen, where he can regenerate his limbs with bungee gum, he would have like survived here, and the fight would have kept going a little longer. But like this time of him switching from his right leg to his left, that's the moment he gets hit. But like if he had the ability to regen limbs, he probably would have just stayed alive here. The fight would have kept going. So yeah, now when we get the postmortem Nen scene on the left, they use the exact same dialogue that they used when they were describing Crollo's postmortem Nen. Like Machi's looking at Hisoka revive himself, and she's like, yeah, this is Nen that intensifies after death. And then when we look at the start of the fight with Hisoka and Chrollo, when they're talking about postmortem Nen, they're saying like pretty much the same thing. They're talking about postmortem Nen, and they refer to it as Nen that becomes stronger after death. Like these are, it's just like a repeating narrative element. That's what they're using to refer to postmortem Nen. Okay, and then after he comes back to life, Hisoka also has like a shift in his mindset too, because before at the start of the fight we get like a look into Hisoka's mindset where he says it's normal for him to let people have like all the ideal conditions, have everything like going in their favor, and then still just beat them anyway. He says that's a normal thing for him, and it's something he enjoys doing, like letting people have plans, letting people have ideal conditions, and still just winning. But after getting cooked by Chrollo, like he realized like, okay, you can't do that with everybody. There's some people that will cook you if you give them prep time. And he says like he's not going to let that happen anymore. Okay, like, and you see Machi in the corner. She's like, yeah, be sure to pick your battles next time. And you can look at Hisoka. He's like, you know what? That's pretty based. I'm not gonna it's not a bad idea. Like you can see him like really thinking about it right here. Like in this panel on the right, he's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. He's really thinking about it. Okay, and then here's Hisoka doing things with bungee gum that he's never done before. Like I said, like if he could do this in his fight during Chrollo, like this is him regenerating the leg that got blown off, regenerating his fingers, regenerating his nose, and then turning down the offer to like be healed up by Machi. Like, I mean, if you go back and watch his fight with Castro, he got his arm torn off, and it's kind of implied that, well, I mean, it's literally like deliberately shown he lets his arm get chopped off because he wanted Machi to use her Nen needles. Like, he just likes watching it. But here he like deliberately turns it down. He's like, nah, I genuinely don't need it. I'm good. And just heals himself. Okay. So I mean, in the past, it's like not only different moves, it's just straight up like different behavior. But yeah, if he could do this, then this scene would not have happened. He would have just like actually extended to the ceiling like his internal monologue said he wanted to, and wouldn't have gotten hit here if he could do this the whole time. Oh, I see a question. So Weary said, Lilo, would he have enough time and aura to regenerate both limbs in the middle of the fight though? I mean, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, this is just happening in a singular panel, so it's not really like we have a deliberate time frame for how fast this happens. I mean, it could be like in an instant, or it could take like a couple seconds. So that is a good point. It's a good, like, debatable question, but I mean, I would go ahead and say most likely yes. Like, or at least, another thing I would say, at least right here, he gets his hand blown off, right? His hand is blown off, and then the time in between his hand getting blown off to his leg getting blown off is multiple pages. He has like an entire fight against multiple puppets. So like if he had this ability during that time frame, he would have regened it at least during this. Like while he's running away, he could have regened it. And we see like his Nen manipulation is like very advanced. So he definitely would have been able to do it like within the multitude of pages. Like, especially when you look here, he's doing this in a singular panel. The time of his hand being blown off, his hand's blown off for like an entire chapter. Like if he really could regenerate back here, he would have done it at some point during these pages. Or he would have at least had some dialogue about it. Like he would have said, I can't make, like if you look at the panel on the left, he says, my left hand won't be able to make precise Nen manipulations, but I still have my legs. If he had the ability to regen, he would have said something about, thought something about it right here. He could have said, oh, I can just regen my hand with bungee gum. And if you want to use the argument that maybe it would take time, he would have some dialogue about that. He'd be like, yeah, it's going to take me a few seconds to regenerate my hand with bungee gum. But there's no mention of it, no word of it, nothing. He's just like, I just straight up can't use it. There's not even a single thought about trying to heal it. So that's pretty much guaranteeing he just couldn't do that yet. Okay. Then and yeah, this is just showing like Hisoka's mindset shift, that like he's not giving people ideal conditions anymore. If he wants to fight someone, he's just going to smoke them immediately. That's like the change in his mindset essentially. And then we see he spares Machi. Like something that has actually been like hinted at from the start of the series is like Hisoka actually has a crush on Machi. That's the only reason he doesn't kill her here. That's shown during the Heaven's Arena arc, where he asks her out on a date and she just like leaves the room and doesn't respond to him. And then he's like, "You're taking my love for granted," you know? Like, so she's like canonically the only female in the story that he's attracted to. Like Hisoka's a wild guy for that. But yeah, he spares Machi, and she's not able to break out of his bungee gum, which may also imply that like his bungee gum is stronger than before too. Just in general, his bungee gum's stronger. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that before Postmortem Nen, would Machi have been able to break out of the bungee gum like this? Let me know in the comments what you think. But then on the right, we're seeing here Hisoka using a new ability from his bungee gum, like turning his foot is continuously made of bungee gum at all times, which also goes to show like the strength of like his Nen manipulation. Like to this very moment in the current chapters, his hand, his foot, and like a large portion of his face is still just made out of bungee gum 24/7, like never turned off. And he just does this casually at all times. So his Nen manipulation skills are very advanced. But this scene here is just straight up evidence that like the new abilities he gained from Postmortem Nen have objectively made him stronger, because they're literally new powers like that enhance his speed. Like even if you wanted to downplay Hisoka to the absolute minimum, you have to admit he's faster now, right? Like at the very least, like if you're downplaying Hisoka to the absolute bare bones minimum, you have to admit he's faster now, because this is not something he could do before. He couldn't turn his foot into bungee gum, use it as a catapult, and then just like make himself faster. This is him one-shotting Shalnark with this ability. It made him fast enough to one-shot Shalnark, like, which is pretty crazy. And then there's some statements on Postmortem Nen Hisoka that make him stronger, like that are impressive, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds here. But what do you guys think about the stuff I was just saying? Like, is there stuff that you guys disagree with? I'm just looking through the comments. I see Lost in Sense says how he did. I might be missing the comment before that. I'm not sure. Bromiss. Anyone have any disagreements or like questions or on what I said about Postmortem Nen Hisoka? And also I am interested if you guys think Machi like would have been able to break out of Hisoka's bungee gum like this before Postmortem Nen. Do you guys think she would have? Because like something that's interesting is Killua does say in the beginning of I think it was during the Phantom Troop arc, Killua says like you should think of Machi and Nobunaga as two Hisokas. And yet here we see Machi isn't strong enough to break out of Postmortem Nen Hisoka's bungee gum. Let me know what you guys think about that stuff. And I think that bungee gum actually has like I'm not certain, because I was thinking, how did she get out of this eventually? Probably like once Hisoka got out of range, he just deactivated it. Maybe bungee gum has a range of sorts, like bungee gum that's not I think I read somewhere that like if the bungee gum is attached to Hisoka, it gets weaker once you reach a certain distance away from him. Maybe that also applies to bungee gum that's not like directly attached to him. But the Geo said, I doubt she could break out even pre-Postmortem Nen, honestly. You might be right. You might be right. Professor Fiction said, to be fair, Shalnark ain't the end-all of physical showings. That's true as well, but he's definitely not a fodder character. Like, he was still strong enough to be a Phantom Troop member, and I mean, the arm wrestling rankings aren't like an overall depiction of their overall stats, but like he wasn't the lowest on the arm wrestling either. And I think, like, honestly, Shalnarg, like, another thing to think about is during the fight against Zazan, you guys remember the Queen Chimera Ant Zazan? During that fight, he was having an easier time, like, keeping up with Phaeton than Kaluto did. Killua's younger sibling, Kaluto. And Kaluto's considered very powerful. Like, there's a lot of people that think Kaluto was, like, stronger than Greed Island Gon. That's a debate on its own. And Shalnark was like watching the fight with Phaeton and Zazan, like with no problem stated at all. He was just kind of chilling watching it. And Kaluto's like, I can barely even keep up with what's happening. And right after Kaluto says that, Shalnark's like, yeah, he's still just holding, like he's still not at full power, like just casually watching it. So that scene was kind of implying that Shalnark's might be stronger than Kaluto. And yet here we see Hisoka just one-shotting Shalnark. Okay, so let's keep going. And okay, yeah, now I have my Razor stuff. Oh wait, yo, do I not have my Crollo things? Oh no way, I forgot to put the Crollo screenshots, chat. No way. So I was supposed to have a Crollo screenshot here, but I forgot to add it. But essentially, Crollo, he has some dialogue in the Succession War. Dang, I can't believe I just left these panels blank, bro. I was supposed to put a Crollo panel right here. But I guess we can just keep looking at Hisoka one-shot Shalnark while I explain this. All right. My fault on that, chat. I just forgot to put the panels there. And I have Viz open, so maybe we'll scroll up to the chapter. It was chapter 405. I think I remember the exact number. But anyway, like Crollo has this line of dialogue where he's saying that he's hunting, like they're all hunting down Hisoka in the Succession War. And something Crollo says is, before fighting Hisoka, he wants to evolve his Hatsu ability Skill Hunter to a level that it's never been before. And he says, like, if he doesn't evolve before fighting Hisoka, Hisoka might kill him. Okay, so like the reason why this is really interesting is because Crollo still has his postmortem Nen. He still has the postmortem Nen, the sun and moon ability, like this ability that was like creating these explosions. Do I have a panel of any of the explosions? I don't. Well, this postmortem Nen, Crollo still has this. And he's saying in the most recent chapters of Hunter x Hunter, he's like, even though I have this postmortem Nen, I want to evolve even further. I'm going to, like, the way he talks about it, he's adding like multiple new conditions to his already super broken Hatsu, adding like 3 new conditions to it to make it even more powerful, because conditional Nen makes your Nen even stronger. So he's adding 3 like really challenging conditions. I believe it's like stealing a national treasure. And he said, like, a condition this challenging is what I need to evolve Skill Hunter to a brand new level. And that's the power I need to kill Hisoka for good. And he's saying without it, Hisoka might kill him. Like, if he fights Hisoka before this new power-up, postmortem Nen, Hisoka might kill him. So, I mean, like, from Crollo's own mind, like, postmortem Nen, Hisoka would be above him in power. Or at least so close that the odds of victory are not 100%, which, I mean, should have been obvious in this first fight anyway, too. But, like, that is a pretty powerful statement, that he's like, even though I have postmortem Nen, and even though I know I killed him before, like, I won before, I need to evolve again before I fight this new Hisoka. Otherwise, I might die. So, like, it's just another bit of dialogue that that explains to you that postmortem Nen is, like, a different level than he was before. We said, can you go to the chapter? You know what, bro? You're right. Let's go ahead and do it. Like, I had over here, like, for analyzing Razor, I was going to go through the dodgeball chapters, and we can still do this. But if you look here, I have some slides put together for Razor 2, just to talk about, like, how strong Razor is. But let's go to the chapter real quick. It was chapter 405, I think. Was it 405 or 406? Oh yeah, and this is actually Hisoka in like the most recent chapters too, by the way. Like, this is Hisoka with at all times, like maintaining the hand made out of bungee gum, maintaining the nose made out of bungee gum, maintaining the foot made out of bungee gum, playing card games. He's probably cheating in this card game, by the way, because we know that he can just like change like what cards say using texture surprise. So he's probably just cheating and like making a ton of money by cheating, scamming people. Also, another interesting piece of dialogue here is he. Let me see here. This dialogue right here. He's talking about Prince. I forget his how to. Is it Prince Henry? Bromus would know. Bromus, if you're still in the chat, let me know which prince he's talking about here. But there's a prince that had the ability to like combine the aura of multiple of his subjects into like an arrow, and if you get hit by that arrow, one of his subjects dies, but you become his next subject. But yeah, Bromus, let me know what the name of this prince is. Is it Henry? Because like me and Bromus were talking about the princes. Henry's like very underrated, but Hisoka has this line of dialogue where he's like, he sensed, is it Prince Henry? Halkenberg? It's Halkenberg. Okay, Halkenberg. So he sensed Prince Halkenberg's ability and got like interested in it, right? You know how Hisoka's just a freak like that. That level of power was enough to interest him. But at the same time, something I haven't really seen anyone talk about this. The fourth prince is on the boat too, like getting stronger at an insane rate. He at this point he has 2 Nen beasts. He has all this power, but that didn't get on Hisoka's radar. Like he doesn't mention it. So like as strong as the fourth prince is getting, that's still not enough to like interest Hisoka. So maybe the fourth prince is like out of Hisoka's range to be sensed, or it's just like the fourth prince is not strong enough to interest Hisoka yet, which is something I've never seen anyone really mention. Daniel, you said I wonder if Hisoka being postmortem Nen gives him invulnerability to other Nen abilities that might manipulate living creatures. That's an interesting theory. I don't know, but oh yeah, I came here to find Chrollo's thing. So it's chapter 406. Yeah, I was right. 406. Okay. So here's where this is Chrollo talking about he needs to evolve his ability. So like he says to evolve his ability, I think he's after these 3 sacred treasures. Yeah, it's these 3. And he says it right here. So I actually never analyzed what the treasures are. So he's trying to, one of the 3 he's trying to steal is the seed urn. Like that's actually extremely bold, bro, because the like princes have used, I think they've had this for generations. And this is the thing that gave the princes Nen beasts. This thing right here, it gave them all their Nen beasts. So he's trying to steal that. That's already like extremely rare. He's trying to steal a divine mummy, the overseer of the succession battle. I've never really looked at what these treasures are. Chrollo's a mad lad for trying to steal these things. And then the third one, the sword of ascension given to the next king. So he's trying to steal like the reward of the succession battle. He's trying to steal the overseer itself. And he's trying to steal the seed urn, which is like an extremely legendary item that gave all of the prince's Nen beasts. He's trying to steal all 3 of those things, okay? Now let's see. Let's look at the dialogue here. Well, I know it's this part, but I just haven't read this part in a minute. But this is where he says he needs the powers to kill Hisoka. Like, so if you look at like, let me zoom in a little more for you guys. So if you look at like the top dialogue box, he's saying like stealing these treasures, this is what he needs to upgrade Skill Hunter. That's his Hatsu ability. So he needs to steal these 3 cracked items to upgrade his Hatsu. And this dialogue on the right is like the really important one. He said that's like upgrading his Skill Hunter, risking his life to steal these legendary artifacts. That's the power he needs to kill Hisoka for good this time. And And I'll just read the whole block. He said, in order to steal such a rare and powerful ability, wait, hold on. Yeah, in order to steal such a rare and powerful ability and put it in the book, I have to achieve stealing a national treasure level item before using the activation conditions. Okay, like, so he's adding like another condition on top of his crazy conditions. Like, I posted this on my community tab like a couple weeks ago, I think. The manga lists Chrollo's conditions for stealing an ability. It's like 5 or 6 different conditions he already has to do before he can use his ability. Matter of fact, you guys want me to see if I can pull that up really quick? I have that listed here. Nah, it's gonna be too much of a hassle. If anyone in the chat could do me a favor and like find the chapter where they reveal Chrollo's like conditions. It's like it's page 1 of one of the chapters. I don't remember the exact one. I think it's somewhere in the Phantom Troop arc, like maybe at the tail end of the Phantom Troop arc, maybe around like the 80s, maybe in like the 70 to 80 range. If anyone in the chat like could do that and let me know the exact chapter number, I could pull that up too. But yeah, I just don't want to like find it through my community poll, so that'll take me a minute. But yeah, these are the conditions, okay? And he's saying, I need this power to kill Hisoka for good this time. And that's, wait, what does this say on the left? He said, making the attempt carries a greater risk. Going to tier 1 increase. Okay, yeah, this part's important. He said, going to tier 1, like that's a level on the ship. He says, going to the tier 1 floor on the ship increases the chances that I'd run into Hisoka before I'm completely ready to fight. Okay, and now let's read what he says here. He said, the next best option is already in place. The spiders will go on, even if I may die. Okay, so like, that's him saying that like, if he doesn't evolve his Hatsu ability first and fight Hisoka, he might die. And if you want to really highball it, like if you want to really highball Hisoka's power, you could say that Chrollo's saying, even after I evolve my Hatsu to a level it's never been before, like, and keep in mind, he still has his post-mortem Nen. So let me put it like this. The highest you can highball it, this is Chrollo saying, I'm going to risk my life stealing these 3 national treasures, making my 5-step conditional Nen and 8-step conditional Nen. And it's going to give me powers I've never had before. And I have post-mortem Nen. All that together, I might still die fighting Hisoka. That's the highest you can highball post-mortem Nen Hisoka. Like, it's like all of my powers together, plus evolving it further, plus having post-mortem Nen. All that together, I might still die if I fight post-mortem Nen Hisoka. That's the highest you can highball this statement. Okay? The lowest you can lowball it is to say, if I fight Hisoka before I evolve, then I might die fighting Hisoka. So it depends on like how high you want to put Hisoka up there, but these are like really strong pieces of evidence that post-mortem Nen made Hisoka stronger. Before I go through some of these Razor feats, what do you guys think about that? Oh, Eric, you found it? Chapter 71? Let me go look at that. Thank you, by the way, bro. Let's go look at that. You said chapter 71. You found that fast. Maybe Eric just had that memorized the whole time, was just waiting for someone to ask that question. Let's go to 71. It is right here. All right, let me see. Bro, it was not here. Wait, I don't see it. Maybe it was 72. I did not see it there, bro. Maybe you meant 72. Brother, it's not here. Wait, maybe you meant 81 or something? What? It's not here, man. It's not here. It's just the Gone arm wrestling chapter. But yeah, if anyone in the chat could find the chapter where it states Crollo's conditions, they state it's like page 1 of one of the chapters. It's around here somewhere. It's like in this arc. I just don't want to take time like looking for it, just because I want to get back to like this part of the stream. But if anyone finds it, let me know. I don't know why Eric told me to go look at chapter 71. Okay, but yeah, that's all the stuff I was saying for Hisoka. And like postmortem, then Hisoka scales up. Wait, Eric, you said maybe right after he knocks Homegirl out. 1 second. Okay, yeah. Let me know if you find it. But yeah, all that stuff I was saying scales Hisoka very high. Like the lowest you can scale postmortem Nen Hisoka logically, the actual like very bottom lowest is that he's about dead even with postmortem Nen Crollo. And like this puts Hisoka very high, okay? Because we see in the battle against Zeno and Silva, that Silva states, like, both of us fighting Crollo together, we both might die fighting him. We don't know all the abilities he has in his book. He might have, like, something super dangerous, and we might both die. Like, we both have to risk our lives to do fatal damage. He might kill us both while we kill him. Okay, that's, like, straight up said by Silva. And then, that was Crollo back in the Phantom Troop arc. Then Crollo gets way stronger than that because he gets the bookmark ability. I remember specifically Crollo saying, like, now I do remember that. Like, Crollo developed the bookmark ability after that fight. I know that it's like chapter 3, should be chapter 350 or 351. We'll go ahead and look at that. 350 or, I think it was 351. It was, my bad. Let's see here. So this fight's crazy, by the way. I highly recommend you guys go back and like peep this fight. I think it's the coolest, like most strategic battle in the fight. You just see like a master class of using multiple abilities at once, and like Hisoka thinking through a bunch of things at once. It's crazy. But let's see. So this is him showing off the postmortem Nen ability. Oh, and you get to see Hisoka using bungee gum to amplify his speed here too. Like, does the explosion happen here? Hold up. Did he just dodge an explosion at point blank? I think he dodges before the blood lands on him using bungee gum. So it's like, this kind of implies like at the start of every fight, Hisoka just attaches bungee gum to something. So that way he can like amplify his speed anytime he needs to dodge something. Because he did it here, and then he also did the same thing against Goto. Someone in the chat, let me know, who do you think is faster? Like Hisoka using his bungee gum to amplify his speed in terms of like running, or Killua running with Godspeed? I had asked that earlier. What do you guys in the chat think? Okay. But yeah, like just talking about like how much stronger Crollo got from the time he fought Zeno and Silva, and keep in mind, like, he was already so strong against Zeno and Silva that they were like, yeah, he might kill us both. And Professor Fiction had a good point. He was like holding back in that fight too. Like, that's like straight up stated by by Silva. Zeno says it. He's like, you weren't even trying to kill us in that fight. And also, like, when you analyze the conditions for his abilities and you analyze Crollo's character, like, what's heavily implied is that during that fight, Crollo was trying to steal their powers. He wasn't trying to kill them. He was trying to steal their powers, because one of the conditions is like they need to be alive for you to take their ability. So like, and that's also part of Crollo's character, is he's just like, he loves to steal powers. He genuinely enjoys doing it. So like fighting, like think about how strong he was. Like he was fighting the two strongest Zoldycks at the same time. Some people say Maha might still be the strongest, but let me know what you think. But I'll just say Zeno and Silva are the strongest. He was fighting the two strongest Zoldycks by himself, holding back, trying to steal their powers. Then after that, he gets stronger. He gets this postmortem Nen ability, Sun and Moon, where he can just blow up people from like a distance. And you pretty much like can't let him touch you, or you just die. And then he developed this bookmark ability, right? So is this where he's saying it? He said with his bookmark, he can maintain a page's ability even after closing the book. And doesn't he say like this is something he created himself? Let me see. I think he says that. My fault for just analyzing. This is just like a very interesting fight to me. And I want to see if he says it here that he developed it himself, like for this fight. Oh, he does. Yeah. I thought I remembered that. So in this top panel up here, he said, the bookmark comes with the book. It's my own ability, not stolen. Okay, that's sick. And then he says he only has one bookmark. And he said the true advantage of the bookmark is like he can fight without holding the books. So, okay, yeah, this is the stuff I wanted to read. So he said, Skill Hunter required me to hold the book with my right hand when I conceived it. And if you look at the fight with Zeno and Silva, he does that like the whole fight. He said, but when I stole an ability that required both hands, I was forced to make some adjustments. Now I have more annoying conditions to deal with, but I find that my combat efficiency has vastly improved. So like this implies like this ability here, Sun and Moon, this post-mortem Nen ability, bro, they were posing like JoJo characters the whole fight, by the way. You guys, if you haven't read this, you guys definitely need to go back and read it. And it's crazy that as soon as the fight started, they kill the referee as soon as the fight starts. But and they did it mercilessly. They did not care. They used him as a weapon, bro. But anyways, he got this ability to kill Hisoka, right? The post-mortem Nen ability. And it required the use of both hands. And he's like, okay, now that I have this ability that uses both hands, I need the bookmark now. So he developed the bookmark. So the bookmark lets him use abilities from his book without holding the book anymore. And then he says it right here. He's like, I can use one ability with both hands free. And he states down here that his combat efficiency has vastly improved. The same combat efficiency that could handle Zeno and Silva at the same time. That's vastly improved. And he has post-mortem Nen, and he can spam like multiple abilities at once. He's crazy strong, okay? And with all this power, he's like, yeah, before I fight post-mortem Nen Hisoka, I need to add another crazy condition or I might straight up die. And if you want to highball him, you can say, okay, even if I evolve beyond this, I might still die fighting post-mortem Nen Hisoka. And hold up. 123. Why are people just saying random chapters, bro? Wait, are you guys trolling me, bro? Just trying to make me look through the whole manga? Someone said it's 81 for conditions. And then Bromus said it's chapter 123. I'm going to trust Bromus, okay? I'll trust Bromus. And also, this panel here is impressive. He's like, you're setting a new record for the number of abilities it's ever taken me to kill someone. You should be proud. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about normal Hisoka versus Zeno and Silva. But the reason I'm going on this long tangent to explain all of this is I think post-mortem Nen Hisoka is stronger than Zeno. He should scale above Zeno. Post-mortem Nen Hisoka should. Because, like, from everything we saw, just normal Chrollo at the start of the series was already like a Zeno level fighter, very relative to him. Then he makes himself way more powerful to fight Hisoka, like gets post-mortem Nen, improves his combat efficiency with the bookmark ability. And that's not even mentioning like the fact that he likes stealing abilities. He might have stolen other abilities that he didn't use in this fight. All of that still not enough for post-mortem Nen Hisoka. He wants to go further. But this Chrollo right here might already be like stronger than Zeno. And he's like, yeah, I need to evolve again before fighting post-mortem Nen Hisoka. So I personally have post-mortem Nen Hisoka above Zeno. And I have normal Hisoka below Zeno. Let me know what you guys think. Galcock said it's chapter 543, page 45. All right, let me go to chapter 123 to show you guys the conditions, and then we'll talk about Razor. But what do you guys think about all that stuff I just yapped about? Do you disagree with any of it? Do you agree with it? What do you guys think? Because that's like where I have the Hisoka scale. I think that Postmortem Nen Hisoka made, Postmortem Nen made Hisoka stronger. Oh yeah, here we go. Thank you, Bromus. So these are the conditions for Chrollo's abilities. They're all right here. This is not in the anime, by the way. This is just manga only. But yeah, like the way I have Hisoka's scale is I have normal Hisoka below Zeno, and maybe below Chrollo too, but that's debatable. And then I have Postmortem Nen Hisoka above Zeno. Okay, and that's where I have it. What do you guys think about that? And these are all the conditions for Chrollo's ability, and he's like, yeah, I need to add like 3 more before I fight Hisoka. Like this is why Chrollo's ability is so powerful, by the way, is because like he's a specialist. His Nen type is a specialist, and he's using a really strong like he puts a lot of conditions on his power. And that's also a parallel to Kurapika, by the way, because Kurapika is a specialist that puts a lot of conditions on his powers too. 1 second, chat. My cat is crying, wants me to let her in this room. Here, I'll leave it on these conditions. Just 1 second. Let me open the door. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. I like, whenever I do streams, I put my cat outside of my room because like she's just very scrappy by nature. So like if I do a live stream, she normally starts like trying to battle me, and it messes my focus up. But anyone disagree with any of the stuff I've said so far? Let me know in the chat, because we're about to go into scaling Razor, because that's my scale for Hisoka. Like base normal Hisoka is like a little bit below Zeno. Postmortem Nen Hisoka is a little bit above Zeno, and there's something else. Oh yeah, we also get a bit of dialogue. Yo, Professor Fiction, thank you, dude. Thank you for the donation. Said Grandpa Maha, give me strength. This is base Hisoka we're dealing with. That's crazy. That's funny. There was something I was just saying. Oh yeah. Another bit of dialogue we get about Postmortem Nen is that it amplifies your aura. That's straight up stated by Pito's Postmortem Nen. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at those Chrollo conditions. And by the way, the other thing about this is it also shows like Zeno's battle experience, because as soon as he saw the ability, he's like, your ability is so strong, it probably has 4 or 5 conditions. And then I counted, it's like it does have 4. It says he must fulfill 4 requirements to steal an ability. And then it lists these, but it's technically 5, like closer to 5, right? Like he said, to use it, like, yeah, there's a little bit more. There's these 4 conditions needed to steal. Yeah, so actually, no, Zeno was 100% right. He was like, to steal an ability, it's probably 4 or 5 conditions, and it is exactly 4. But then to use the stolen ability, there's another condition as well. And then it disappears if the user dies, which is what makes the Postmortem Nen so rare. It's like, I think it might have been the first time that it ever happened to Chrollo when he got Sun and Moon. But I wanted to show you guys like Pito's Postmortem Nen statement. I think that was chapter 302. No, maybe 305. Somewhere around here. No, it's 306. I was wrong. It was 307. My fault. Eric, you said Hisoka Postmortem Nen beats Pito. Nah. Pito took a full, like, Pito took Netero's Hatsu to the chest and didn't even, like, get a scratch from it. It's just Adult Gone is so much above, like, everyone else we saw that he made Pito look weak, but Pito's actually, like, a monster. But yeah, this is where we see, it says, Pito with aura amplified by death became an undead puppet for the king. So like this is post-mortem Nen Pito, and it's telling you that post-mortem Nen amplified Pito's aura. So it's like not so by that same logic, Hisoka should also have amplified aura, which is kind of backed up by like Machi not being able to break out of the bungee gum, for example. So yeah, Hisoka overall should just be stronger overall. Like, not only does he have new abilities, but his aura should be amplified. So like, he either has more aura than before, or like, maybe it's just a higher output, like a higher net output than he had before. Okay. But let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. Also, this is something I wanted to make a short on. This scene here, just analyzing this scene here, it's really crazy because like Gon is standing here crying, like reflecting on how Kite is dead and stuff. And then we see like in the manga Pito's diving towards him while Killua diving towards Gon, and Pito actually gets there first, and then Killua pushes him out of the way like after he's already been hit. So like that implies like Pito might be faster than Godspeed Killua. But then there's another thing where he's saying he's happy. Gon says he's happy he can be just like Kite in the end. Like that implies he just let that happen. And then that's proven because immediately after that, he starts obliterating postmortem Nen Pito like a fodder character. Like, if like the part I wanted to make a short on is right here. Like, you see postmortem Nen Pito is diving towards him for a second time. Like we see, okay, so we see the first dive where Gon just lets himself get hit, right? And it was still faster than Godspeed Killua, right? Then this second dive, Pito's already like mid-air, mid-dive. And the narrator says like, there wasn't even enough time to blink, but Killua still like has this whole conversation with Gon. Like faster than it would take for Godspeed Killua to blink his eyes a single time. Has this whole conversation. And then during that whole time frame, postmortem Nen Pito's flying towards Gon. He has this whole conversation like while Pito's flying towards him. After finishing this conversation saying, don't worry about it, man, it's all good with me. He immediately turns around while Pito's midair and then pops Pito like in the chest, bro, like immediately. So it's like Gon was so much faster than postmortem. Gon was so much faster than postmortem Nen Pito. He could literally sit there, chill for a second, have a whole conversation first while Pito's mid-attack, have a whole conversation, then turn around and still have enough time to speed blitz Pito after that. Like, I want to make a short on that, just to highlight that one scene, because it shows how fast Adult Gon is in like crazy detail. And then we see him just one-shot postmortem Nen Pito. I've talked about that a bunch, but like, if he can do this to postmortem Nen Pito, he could probably one-shot any of the Royal Guards, because even normal Pito was stated to be the strongest of them all. And he's doing this to postmortem Nen Pito. Like, this is, like, if you look at his hand, it doesn't even have Nen on it. He might have just brute strength. Like, you can scale him up so high. Like, his attack potency feats are so high, bro. To just one-shot a Royal Guard like this, no Hatsu, is crazy. But anyway, let me go back to Hisoka versus Razor. Okay, so we talked about Hisoka. Before I talk about Razor, is there anything you guys disagree with? Varus Nesu said, can Gon beat Meruem? I highly recommend watch my Adult Gon versus Meruem video. It's called Adult Gon versus Meruem is Obvious, because that gives a much more in-depth like answer to all the different variables in that fight. Any questions or anything before I move on to talking about Razor? Any questions? Omega said, All the evidence we have on postmortem Nen, like the implication that the Judgment Chain curse amp if Kurapika died, Tepsakura persisting after Pito's death, and Sun and Moon seem Hatsu specific. I'm not sure what you mean. Momo, relax, relax. I let my cat in here and she's immediately trying to box me. She just has a grappler spirit. I don't know what to say. Galgots, I don't know, bro. I just accidentally started yapping about Adult Gone. Paper Note said, I think assuming that postmortem Nen is a stat boost is a misguided assumption. Well, why would you say that though? Because there's multiple, like, pretty much every time we've seen it, it was a stat boost. Omega said, what I mean is postmortem Nen applies to specific Hatsus, not an overall stat bump. Like, so you're saying postmortem Nen just makes your Hatsu stronger, but it doesn't make all of your aura stronger? I could see that, but that still makes you a stronger fighter. Okay, yeah, Bromas, I agree. We'll start the Razor stuff now. Like, okay, hold on. I'll just read these last few questions. You said, first wave negativity said the debate in chat is about scale. Okay, I'm not going to read that. Guru Pirate said, off topic, but what's your opinion on Avatar The Last Airbender? It's probably the best cartoon ever. Like, legitimately the best, like, written cartoon I've ever seen, most likely. Anime Monarch said, how big of a buff do you think postmortem Nen is? I mean, it seems to improve your overall Hatsu abilities, and then amplifies your aura to some degree. I don't know. It's hard to quantify that. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just like some unknown increase, like big enough to make the Phantom Troops stop hunting Kurapika. Big enough to, like, a bigger increase than a plan would be. That's what it seems like. It seems to be a bigger increase than a plan would be based off of what Hisoka was saying against Crollo. And plans are a big advantage. Like, for example, you actually can kind of quantify it now that I think about it. Because we saw Gon, like, he was weaker than Genthru by a considerable margin. Like, Genthru was way more experienced, could just, like, read Gon's attacks before they landed because he was just, like, reading his aura flow. Like, he was beating him down, like, kind of similar to how Knuckle beat Gon down. And Gon was still able to defeat Genthru, someone that much stronger than himself, with a plan. So postmortem Nen would be a bigger amp than that. Like, for example, if Gon had postmortem Nen, he'd be able to beat Genthru without a plan. Like, Greed Island Gon. So that's, like, how big of an amp it is. That's about, like, how big of an amp it is, so. Maybe 2 times, 3 times. However big of the gap between Greed Island Gon and Genthru was, however big that gap was, postmortem Nen is a bigger power-up than that. That's what I would say. Okay? So let's talk about Razor now. Okay, so when talking about Razor, the limits of his power are kind of just, like, implied to us throughout the story. But we, like, from the moment he's introduced as somebody very strong, right? Like, the Phantom Troop see him, multiple Phantom Troop members at once see him and are, like, immediately on guard. And he has a bit of dialogue here in the left-hand panel where he says he's one of the game creators. He's in charge of the emissive systems and makes most of the spells work. And we also know that he's, like, an emitter Nen type. So here's one way you can scale Razor. You could say, like, let me word it like this. There's a chance that all of the spells, we don't know how they work. It could just be technology making them work. Like, technology, and he's just an engineer, like Donatello, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle of the Greed Island verse. He could be that. Or he's just legit charging them with his Nen. Like, all of the cards in the game are charged by, like, not all, but a lot of them, most of them, are charged by his Nen. And if he, like, stopped doing that, he would be massively more powerful. That's one way to scale him. And I would say that would be, like, the highball interpretation of him, because we can't prove that, right? It's just like a theory some people have. It could be true, but it's just a theory at the end of the day, right? So I would say that's a highball interpretation of Razor. the normal interpretation of Razor is that like he's strong enough that he's confident he could fight multiple Phantom Troop members at the same time, and he like invites them back to battle. I don't think I have that panel here, but like, oh no, he does. He's like he invites them to come back and fight, and he doesn't really have a problem with it. He's like, yeah, just come back and fight me. There's a special card you guys get if you beat me in a fight. So he's willing to fight all of them. So he's powerful enough to bare minimum like hold his own with multiple powerful Phantom Troop members at once. He's a very strong guy. And then we also see him during like the Greed Island dodgeball game hold his own against Gon, Killua, Hisoka, and suppressed Bisky all at the same time. Too. And these are just some of his powers. Let's take a look here. Yeah, there are some statements that talk about like him just being far more powerful than anyone else. But the one on the right, I don't remember if that was a Viz translation or like some like crappy scan I had pulled up. No, I think it was a crappy scan. But anyway, like Razor's Hatsu abilities, he has the emitter dodgeball that he can just create and chuck at people. That's like stated multiple times to be on par with Gon's rock, and he can just chuck them. He also has way more aura than Greed Island Gon, like significantly more, because like not only is he throwing like multiple spikes with his aura, but like he's reflecting like all of their attacks, handling it all himself, and like powering all like his whole team by himself. He creates his team members using his second Hatsu ability, the 14 Devils. Another thing is like in this fight, like if you count them, there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's using 7, and then he created an 8th one to be a referee, but his ability is 14 Devils. So like the whole dodgeball tournament, he was only fighting with like half of what he's actually capable of in terms of like abilities, right? He didn't use all 14 because it was against the rules. And he was able to do like crazy combo attacks with them. He's able to merge them together and make them strong enough to the point where Hisoka says they're strong. Now in like the combo attacks he can do with his devils are like fast as well. Like they can create like a Nen ball and then just like trade volleys with each other at a fast speed and like hit people with sneak attacks. But that like the ability we see in the left panel would very likely not work on Hisoka though, because Gon and Killua were able to like follow this and like evade it and stuff. Tezgera couldn't, but he's fodder compared to like everyone else that was there. But yeah, when they merge together, they become powerful enough for Hisoka to say they were strong. But this thing, like the merged 14 Devil is still weaker than Gon's Rock. It got like blown out of the ring by Gon's Rock. But yeah, this is Hisoka saying like the merged Devil is strong. And yeah, and Razor's normal throws were like on par with Gon's Rock. Let's see here. Yeah, and even the small Devils are powerful. Like not only is he super strong, but he also just has insane Nen precision. So yeah, this is the panel where they're saying that Gon's Rock is like equal in strength to Razor's throw. And then Razor gets even stronger than that by like absorbing all of the devils into himself and then doing his spike. Do I have that panel here? Yeah, it's like right after this. So like Razor's like normal throws, like just him like chucking the volleyball was as strong as Gon's Rock, which is stated right here. And then Razor like absorbs all of the Nen Beast back into himself, and Hisoka on the left is like, now we'll see his true power, showing you that like the spike is even stronger than that. So yeah, but then like Gon's Rock powers up as the fight goes on. So like Gon's like it shows you like Gon's Rock has like different levels of power too. Like if Gon full charges his rock like as much as he can, it's more powerful than like a rock he just quickly charges up. There's like different levels to it. Oh yo, you guys said audio's cutting out. My fault. Dang, I was too locked. Audio's cooked. It's how's the audio now? Hold up. Oh, audio's still cutting? No way. Ugh. I don't want to mess with the mic too much. This might sound rough. Sorry, chat. Okay, is the audio good now? My fault. Wait, can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. Space Cowboy, you said it's been fine for me. Sorry, let me know, like the guys who were saying it was bad, is it good now? It's good. Let me know what you guys want me to do. You guys want me to continue? Like, is it good? Anime Monarch said it's good. Guru Pirate said it's good. You said you refreshed the stream. Anyone else's audio still cooked? Who was saying that it was bad at first? It was Bromus, is it good on your end? Okay, it's good now. Okay, I like jostled the mic around. So that part of the stream is going to be hard to listen to because like I know that's going to sound bad. Like I just pretty much just jostled it. All right. Okay. What part? When did it start getting bad? I don't know. Like I was locked in. I was yapping. What part should I continue? Like, did you guys hear me talking about like how strong Razor's throws are? Did it cut out before that? Was that where it cut out when I was talking about how strong his throws are? Okay, yeah. Okay, so okay. So Razor's normal throws. Okay, so Razor's normal throws, like where he just takes the dodgeball and chucks it, are the same strength as Gon's rock. That's stated in this panel right here. The bottom right-hand panel, you see, this is after Gon does rock. He said Gon's ball was just as powerful as Razor's. So this is them saying, like, these throws Razor's doing are as strong as Gon's, like, initial rocks. And then, like, something else I said is Gon's rocks have, like, different levels to them. Like, and after I go through these slides, we can actually go to the dodgeball chapters and just, like, actually look at that stuff in more detail. But Gon's rocks have different level to them. Like a rock that Gon charges up quickly is weaker than one he takes time to like fully charge. Like there's different levels to it. So like Gon's like normal quickly charged rocks are like as strong as Razor's throws. There's also a bit of dialogue at the start of the dodgeball game. Like Razor creates an emitter ball and uses it to like blow this dude's head off. And then he says like during the dodgeball game, my throws will be just as strong as that emitter ball. That emitter ball. So, like, this is all telling you Razor can, like, just create emitter balls and chuck them, like, at the same strength as Gon's rock. He has an emitter ability as strong as Gon's rock. And then it can get even stronger than that when he absorbs all of the 14 devils back into himself. He does that right here. He absorbs them all into his, like, own power. And Hisoka's like, now we'll get to see his true power, like after he absorbs the 14 devils. And then he does this spike that's even stronger than Gon's like initial rock. Okay, so like, and Razor is like a real monster, man, because he's doing this all like, he's pretty much in like a 1v5 and handling this all by himself. And he's doing like all of these crazy Nen attacks. Like if you think about it, here, hold up, let me close my door real quick, just because I don't want I think my fan just cut on and I don't want that to come in here. One sec, hold up. Okay. What I was saying was at this point in the series, Gon could only do about 3 rocks before passing out. Like when you run out of aura entirely, you just pass out in Hunter x Hunter. And at this point in the story, Gon could only do about 3. And then that also shows you Gon gets stronger too, because in In the following arc, in Chimera Ant arc, he could do 4, I believe, before passing out, so he gets a little stronger. But and like I had made a video on this, like Gon and Killua, I'm pretty sure they train off screen. Like they practice Ten and Ren daily. Like that's part of their lessons they learn from Bisky. And that increases your Hatsu ability strength. But anyway, that's a tangent. I could talk about that for a minute. Like Gon and Killua would definitely train like off screen. Like that's how Gon's scissors get stronger. Yo, Momo, chill out. That's how Gon's scissors get stronger. That's how Gon's paper gets stronger. Like they train their abilities off screen a little bit. But let me stay focused here. If you think about every time Razor throws the ball, it's as strong as Gon's like normal rock, and he does this like multiple times, then does a spike even stronger than that. And he's like generating enough Nen to like block Gon's rock casually and like not take damage from it. Like look at this. Like this is him like just casually blocking the ball that was propelled by Gon's rock, casually blocking it, and then just landing on his feet, no damage taken at all. Like pretty much it's like throughout this fight, Razor did like the equivalent of like 5 or 6 rocks and wasn't even tired. So he has like many times more total aura than Gon does, many times more. Like this dude could probably do like 10 rocks and still be fine, bro. Like that much, he could use that much aura and still be all right. Because at the end of this fight, he doesn't even look tired, and Gon's unconscious. And it took like all their combined effort just to stop the ball. But we see like right after this, Hisoka's able to like stop his volley on his own. Okay, yeah, this was actually an old slide I had. If you guys have never seen Yu Yu Hakusho, this is actually like an Easter egg. Yu Yu Hakusho was like Togashi's previous manga before Hunter x Hunter, and the main character is the one on the right, Yusuke. He is literally like whenever Togashi draws young Jing, he just draws Yusuke. So like the panel on the left is young Jing, and the panel on the right is Yusuke. He just draws the same character, which is pretty sick. But anyway, those are like the main feats I wanted to go over for Razor. So like basically he's so powerful that he can fight Gon, Killua, Suppress Bisky, and Hisoka all at the same time by himself. And then if you highball him, he could then absorb all of the aura from like all of the cards in Greed Island. Like right here, he could absorb all the aura from all the cards in Greed Island and then use that to make himself stronger the same way he did with this spike. And then maybe his normal throws would just be like magnitude stronger than the spike, and then he would still have the spike after that. So yeah, and each of these things are just devastatingly powerful. And it's also stated like one of these throws would be enough to kill Killua. But Gon survived it with Ko, so you can survive it if you use Ko. Like people are all reacting to it. But all of this being stated, how do I... Wait, should I say how I think the fight would go, or should I go through the chapters first? Because I wanted to like go through the dodgeball chapters and like see if there was anything I missed, and we could just do that live on stream. But I would say, like, I'll start talking about how I think the fight would go, right? So the real truth is like, they're pretty close in power. I would say it would be an extreme diff either way. Like, this is the very start of the dodgeball game. I would say it would be an extreme diff either way, and you could make an argument for either side winning. But the limit we saw to Razor's power is that he got, like, dusted by Jing. Like, Jing beat him up badly. But that was also Razor, like, 12 years in the past. So we don't know if he got stronger after that. But let's say that he's the exact same strength. That's still not an anti-feat, really, because Jing's a top 5 Nen user in the world. He's like relative to Netero. He legitimately could be stronger than Netero is. Jing could be stronger than Netero is what I'm saying. So like getting beaten by Jing is not really a bad thing. Like pretty much every human we've seen would get beaten by Jing. But I would say Like the in my head, the way I have it is I think that I'll put it like this: postmortem Nen Hisoka I have above Razor because I don't know if Razor would be able to beat Zeno or Silva in a 1v1. I don't think he would. Like, he's extremely strong, a versatile fighter, but I think characters like Zeno, Silva, and Crollo would still be stronger than him overall. Would still be like likely to beat him overall. But I have postmortem Nen Hisoka above Zeno and above Crollo, current Crollo. So like, I don't think that this Razor's defeating postmortem Nen Crollo. I don't think he is. If we're using middle ball Razor, if we use high ball Razor and we're saying like he's powering all of the cards from Greed Island with his Nen and he absorbs all that into himself, then I would say like, and that's just pure theory. Like, we don't know if that's true or not. I personally don't think that's true. If I'm being honest, I don't think he's powering it with his Nen. I think it's something else, maybe engineering or something. But if he is powering all the cards with his own Nen and he could still do all of that, then I would have Razor above even postmortem Nen Hisoka. But my scale for it, what I would say, I say based off of middle ball interpretations for all characters, like most likely interpretation, I have postmortem Nen Hisoka is stronger than Razor. I have Razor is slightly stronger than normal Hisoka. That's how I would put it. But honestly, like, Razor being slightly stronger than normal Hisoka doesn't mean that he would win, because Hisoka, he states himself, like, he's used to giving people all the conditions and still beating them anyway. The reason his mentality didn't shift before Crollo is because, like, he was able to do that for a long time and just kept winning. And I think there are areas that, like, Hisoka just showed, like, well, I would put it like this. If we're talking about Hisoka versus Razor, right? Razor seems to be stronger in Nen output, like just have more Nen. He seems to have more strength, like just higher stats. But I don't know if he's a more skilled fighter. That's debatable, right? Because like every one of his throws, characters much weaker than Hisoka are dodging them or reacting to them. So the question becomes like, how is Razor even going to land a lethal blow on Hisoka? Is he even capable of doing that? Because like we see Gon and Killua react to literally everything Razor does. So like, here's my stance on it. I think Razor is a stronger character than normal Hisoka, but if these two were to fight 1v1, I think Hisoka would be slightly more likely to win still. Just like, because I don't know how Razor's going to land anything on him that would kill him. So I would, like, in terms of overall, like, how do I word it, man? Like, if we're just saying who's the stronger character, or, okay, maybe I should say who's more likely to win. Let me word it like that. So if we're just saying who's more likely to win the Nen battle, I think postmortem Nen Hisoka is above Razor. And honestly, might be controversial, I think I'm going to put normal Hisoka above Razor too. It's debatable, right? Like, that's why I wanted this to be a debate. I think Razor is physically stronger, has more Nen, has more durability, more power. He's a straight up stronger character than Hisoka is. But I don't know how he's going to kill Hisoka. I really don't know how he's going to kill him with like attacks that Greed Island Gon and Killua can dodge. And that like Gon used Ko and survived. Like Greed Island Gon. So I like, even though Razor is the stronger character, I think even this Hisoka, like if they fought 1v1 to the death, I think this Hisoka would be slightly more likely to win. Just because I don't see how Razor's going to land a lethal blow on him. If we're seeing Kid Gon and Kid Killua react to everything he does. What do you guys think about that? And another thing that kind of backs that up is like we never see Hisoka like freaking out over Razor's power at all. Like during the fight, he's like more interested in Gon's rock than he is in anything Razor does. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys disagree? And also, remember, I left the Discord link. The Discord link is it's in my like most recent post, my most recent poll. So like, if you want to join in on the if you want to join in this live stream, hop into that Discord, and like I can put you on audio and you can talk in the stream with me and like say your points. Is there anyone who wants to like debate me on live? The only rule is like you just have to be like polite. Don't say any bad words because that could get the stream like demonetized. And like, yeah, just no insults. Like that's just the rule I use in my debates. Like if you start insulting, like that's just the end of the debate. Like, but if anyone here wants to join in this live stream, the link to the Discord is on my most recent community poll. It's on this one right here. The link's right here. You just click the link, join the Discord, and then just go into one of the voice channels and I'll click on it and we can debate live on the live stream. Let me know. But what do you guys think? Do you guys disagree with what I'm saying? Anna Apple a Day says Razor mid diff. How is Razor, like, I want to hear your guys' arguments for it. How is Razor going to kill Hisoka exactly? Like, lay out what would happen. Because from what I'm like, okay, so I see one here. You say, where was it? I saw one argument for it. Where is it? Okay, Marquise Simpson said, Hisoka's not dodging Razor and all 14 devils combined or split if they jump him. Okay, so a counter argument to that is this panel right here. This is him using his 7 devils, and they're like creating a volley. This is like a combo attack Razor has with them, where they like throw the aura around super fast at like ultra high speed, and this fodder jobber can't keep up with it with his eyes, but Gon and Killua can. And then Razor states afterwards, like, he was planning on killing Tesgera with this attack. Like, he says it right here. He's like, you avoided fatal damage by focusing your aura into your back upon hearing the warning. Like, Razor was completely fine with killing this guy right here. Okay? Well, my neighbors are yapping. Don't they understand I'm doing a stream? Goodness gracious, man. All right, but anyway, yeah, so it's like the argument of like Hisoka wouldn't be able to survive being jumped by all the devils. Like, Gon and Killua can react to attacks from being like quote unquote jumped by the devil. Like a combo attack from the devils, Gon and Killua can react to it. So Hisoka definitely can too. This is literally Greed Island Gon and Killua. Greed Island Gon and Killua, Hisoka could probably kill them both at the same time. That's actually just like straight up confirmed in the following arc, where Gon and Killua are even stronger than this. They go into the Chimera Ant arc, and Kite loses his arm, and Killua's like, Kite with just one arm is still stronger than me and Gon combined. Like, Killua himself says that. And a lot of people think Hisoka's stronger than Kite. Meanwhile, Kite with one arm is stronger than Gon and Killua together from the Chimera Ant arc. So, if, like, I'm saying all of that to say, even though Gon and Killua are impressive characters, especially for just being 12, they're very, like, this version of them is very weak compared to Hisoka, and they're still able to, like, keep up with this combo attack. So, I'm saying all that to say, even if, like, they try this combo attack, even with, like, 14 devils, I still say Hisoka would be able to avoid it, especially since, like, how Hisoka fights is, he always, like, has some, like, bungee gum in store for him to escape danger. Like, he always, like, has it attached to something far away, and he uses it to dodge attacks. Another thing, like, we saw him get jumped by hundreds of Nen puppets, and he was surviving until he got, like, his limb blown off by Crollo. Like, he was surviving for a long time getting jumped by hundreds of Nen puppets. So, like, just getting jumped by the 14. Like, another counter-argument to that, another counter-argument I would say is Razor said that he was not going to hold back fighting Gon. Like like Jing told him, don't hold back fighting Gon. And so like the reason I'm saying this is maybe like, so you know how he can make 14 devils? Maybe he put like the maximum aura of 14 devils into these 7. So maybe these 7 are just as strong as his 14 would be. Like if he made 14, maybe they'd be half as strong. That's another argument point you could use. Does anyone want to hop in live? Well, hold on. Let me look at my Discord. Anyone want to debate me live? Like, I'm looking. I'm not seeing anyone. I thought at least 1 or 2 people would want to. I'm surprised. Nobody wants to hop in. But yeah. Okay. I guess we'll just do the debate without anyone. I guess we'll just keep doing it like this. But yeah. Anyone disagree with the stuff I'm saying? You said bro needs to debate a job application. Dawnbreaker, you said you want to join the Discord but can't find the link. It's right here, bro. It's right here in the poll. I posted this poll. It says who wins Hisoka versus Razor. It's the pinned comment right here. You just click the link. It's right there. And if anyone wants to debate, like, because I mean, my argument point is they're very close in power. And I actually think Razor is stronger than normal Hisoka, like just stronger in all stats, really, except for speed. And I don't think he has anything that would land on Hisoka. I like, how is he going to hit him? You know. Like actually, here's a counter argument to that I could see is wait, hold on. Wait, I never thought. How did Hisoka even get bungee gum on the dodgeball? Oh no, Killua gave it to him. Okay, never mind. Hisoka does take damage in this fight with like a surprise attack. So like you could use that as an argument. Like let's go and see here. Because Hisoka actually does like get hit once. Right here, right? So but a question is like, yeah, I think this would work in a 1v1 too. So like here's like a counterpoint. Whip, you said you're in the voice chat. Okay, I'm about to add you in 1 sec. I'm just going to talk about this point here. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just going to mention this point and then I'll add you to the chat, okay, Whip? But it's like this point right here. So Razor throws this dodgeball and it curves. And Hisoka dodges the first one. But then he has another Nen Beast appear right here, grabs it and hits him with like this sneak shot. And then Hisoka stops it at point blank range. But, you know, like maybe something like that would kill Hisoka. Right? So this is actually a good counter argument to that. So this is something I hadn't thought of before. But looking at this now, it's like, okay, yeah, he can land attacks on Hisoka actually. Like with these like trick shots. Like his normal, so a normal throw isn't fast enough to, but if he does a trick shot like this, it would work. The only counter argument I could think of to this is like Hisoka was dodging this at point blank range at first because like it looked like it was just gonna hit Killua and then curve towards him. So if Hisoka's guard was up the whole time, would this hit him? I think you could still make a good argument it would. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, 55th Street, I might have just debated myself out of it. Because, yeah, he actually can land attacks on Hisoka. So, this is actually something I didn't consider. Now that I'm seeing this, I might change my stance. Because, like, I mean, like, Hisoka wasn't even paying attention, right? Like, so at first, it was going to hit Killua, and then it was a curveball. And then last second, Hisoka just, like, casually dodges it. So, like, let's think if it's just Razor versus Hisoka in a 1v1. The initial throws are never going to hit him, but, like, trick shots could. What do you guys think about that? Do you think this would still happen if Hisoka was 1v1? What do you guys think? Do you think this would still happen in a 1v1? Because I think so. I do think so. But like the counter Hisoka would have to this is Hisoka's actually kind of nerfed in this fight because he doesn't have like his bungee gum that he uses to evade attacks. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like what he used against Goto and what he uses against Crollo is like he usually like has bungee gum attached to something far off, and like if he's about to get hit by something that he can't usually dodge, he just zips out of the way. But he doesn't do that in this fight because like he has to stay in bounds. I'm sorry, Bromus. You said you've been presenting your arguments here. Yeah, like on the inside, you're like Hisoka is still bound by the rules and not attacking them in any way. That's another point too. Okay, so it is actually still a debate. Yeah, to be honest, I could be swayed either way now, but for the sake of the video, I'll stick with Hisoka. Okay, so like just to debate with you guys, like me stating my overall thoughts, like it's a close fight. Razor has ways he could kill him. With like Razor's only chance at winning is with these trick shots, but like that's the thing though. The trick shots, Hisoka is still like blocking them. Huh. Yeah, Hisoka's still blocking the trick shot. Another thing I was thinking, in a real fight, could Razor make multiple throws at once? That would make him way stronger, right? Like, if Razor makes multiple aura volleyballs and is, like, throwing multiple at Hisoka, Hisoka can dodge them, yeah, but, like, multiple trick shots at once, that would be different. But then Hisoka has his, like, bungee gum where he can avoid stuff last second, so... and Hisoka's not just going to dodge the entire time. He'll, like, kill the Nen Beasts. It would be an interesting fight, to be honest. That would be a crazy fight. But I'm going to be honest, like, that makes me lean more towards Razor winning. Just the idea of Razor making, like, 5 Nen volleyballs at once, and they're all, like, trick shot trying to hit Hisoka while Hisoka fights him. I think Razor could beat normal Hisoka, but I still have Postmortem Nen Hisoka above Razor. So I did. You guys are right. I did just debate myself out of it. I like me giving my actual thoughts now. I think it's so close though. It's close because, to be honest, I think Kite would beat Razor, but I think Hisoka would beat Kite. So I don't know. I really could kind of like sway either way. But for this video, I'm just going to stick with like, okay, for the debate moving forward, what I'm just going to stick with for the video, I'll have Postmortem Nen Hisoka as number 1. I'll have normal Hisoka as number 2, and then Razor as number 3, just for debate. But I think deep down, I actually do think Razor might win. But I could sway either way. All right, like it's very close. The more I think about it in depth. But let me add. Someone said they wanted to join the voice chat. So let me add you into the voice chat and we can yap. Where is he at? Oh, wait. Okay, yeah. I see the debate voice chat. I see Bromus, I am a pro, Whip. Was it Whip that wanted to debate? But I'm going to have yeah, for this debate, I'm just going to stick with like my initial thing, but like the truth is, I think it could go either way. Like if Hisoka fights Razor 1v1 and it's not in a dodgeball game and he can use his like bungee gum to avoid stuff, I think it could go either way. But for the debate, I'm just going to say like, I'll just say for the debate that Hisoka would win. Okay? But yeah, let me have the debate here on the voice chat. So who wanted to debate? Was it Whip? Okay, yeah, Whip does. All right, bro, I'll let you in. But yeah, just remember the rules, bro. Like, please stay respectful. Like, no, like crash outs. No, like, don't like cuss. You know, just keep it chill, civil. But I'm opening this up. Oh wait, hopefully there's not a bad echo. Here, let me place it like this. Let me put it on speaker. Okay, so hey Whip, did you wanna? Was it Whip who wanted to debate? Oh wait.
What's up, man?
My fault. Hold on 1 second. Okay, Whip,
Oh yeah, that wouldn't be good.
could you say something really quick, Whip? Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Is it the right mic?
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. So like I'm gonna turn your audio up. Hold up. Okay, I have your audio at max. I didn't set it up like real nice beforehand. Like for future live streams, I'll set it up better so like your audio sounds as crispy as mine, but yours will sound a little muffly to the people like watching the stream, but they should still be able to hear you a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so
Always tell me to speak up if needed. Yeah.
okay, dope. Yeah, welcome to the stream, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I've been binging a lot of your content as of late, and it's crazy that I'm just debating right now.
Oh,
Awesome, man.
yeah. Thanks for watching them, man. I appreciate that, bro. And yeah, I'm interested to hear like what your ideas are.
Right.
So yeah, like who do you think would win in this fight, and what are your ideas on it?
All right. So you kind of stole a lot of my points towards the end there as you were talking yourself into it, but
My fault, sorry.
yeah, you're good. You're good, but I think Razor. I think Razor takes it because his DP is crazy. Like the way that he was dealing with Gon's Rock was like no joke. It was incredible, and he's been shown to be able to hit Hisoka before, and it was only from number 5, and Hisoka still took massive amount of damage from him.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, when I look at it, like he broke 2 of his fingers, but he said he broke 2 of his fingers without Ko. So like, if he was using Ko, I don't know if he would have broken fingers still.
Right. Yeah.
But
I
sorry.
say
Go
something
ahead.
about that. I just want to say something about that Ko point.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, Ko can't really be used on like a sneak attack because that's focusing all of your defense into one spot.
Maybe. I think it depends on the situation.
I mean, yeah, that's a good point. I mean, like my thoughts on it is oh yeah, you said it couldn't be used in a sneak attack, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, and that attack against Hisoka that like bloodied his head and broke those 2 fingers, that was a sneak attack from a redirection from one of the devils.
You might be right with that, because like what I was going to say is we saw Gon use Ko to block like Razor's initial throw, but that wasn't a sneak attack, right? Like he saw it coming.
Right.
So
Razor only put his attacks directly in like a straight line, so that like they could have like this back and forth 1v1 with like Gon, seeing like, oh, like I send the ball back, you send. What I mean?
yeah, that's true. That's true. So you might be right with that. Like that is a debatable point. Like, can you use Ko to like if you're off guard like in an instant? I think a counter argument I would have to that is you can use Gyo that way because that's what Gon was doing in the fight against Genthru. Like he trained himself to do that. But Gyo is different than Ko, and so that's it.
I think it's a. Oh, sorry.
No, oh no, you're good. You're good.
I think it's a matter of nen proficiency, because like characters like could just for say not be good at using Ko. I think it's a matter of just how good you are at using the Ko technique itself.
Yeah, you might be right with that.
Yeah, I could.
All right, can I just say
That's how
this?
it's described in Great Island.
Oh wait, what's up? What's
Earlier inside that same arc, the guy who was getting Gon and Killua like inaugurated in order to even get to Great Island, he was hit with a sneak attack from Razor, and he only survived because of Ko. He said,
Oh,
and that was a sneak attack.
that might be a good point. Hold up, is he right? Let me go and look at that panel actually right now. That's a good point.
You might actually be right.
Let me
Yeah,
go.
the clone creased him, and he said he only would have lived if what's it called? If he didn't use Ko or whatever, or he only would have died.
That is a really good point. Hold on, I wanna read the exact panel because I didn't even think about that. Is that what he
I'm
said?
not sure if it says General Nen or Ko.
It might have been
I'm
Ko though.
pretty sure-
Like
I think For
I think it
Tezgara,
was
right?
Cole. I think it was Cole. Pull up the panel. I might not be correct.
I read
but
that
I would
panel
know.
earlier. I read that panel earlier, and I swore it just said like just general Nen.
Yeah, so I'm looking like this. This is the panel where he gets like hit by it, and then he said. So this is the Viz translation. So like sometimes, to be honest, sometimes Viz gets some stuff wrong. So like when it comes to like really fine things like this, I look at Viz and then I look at the anime subs. But like it says here, you avoided fatal damage by focusing your aura into your back. But like,
Yeah, that's what I read.
but like honestly, I mean, my counter argument to that is like, this dude Tezgara is such fodder. I don't know if he could survive like without Ko, like, because he's just kind of trash, bro. Like, I don't
Which
know.
number threw it?
What did you say?
I said which number threw it?
I think Ray. Oh
was
no,
for
no, it
Razor
was
as
one of the
well.
numbers. It was 4. It was 4.
That could probably be why.
Oh, also, I like to mention this. I feel like Razor's creativity is being downplayed. Like the reason why Hisoka probably took that little of damage and he didn't have to use Ko is because Razor's an emitter and he's enhancing a ball, which is automatically going to be weaker than his base attack. When we see him emit a ball, we got like his true attack potency when he destroyed a boat after he kicked off the Phantom 2 off the island.
So that's
So I
a
think that if he had killing intent, like genuinely without the rules of the game, I feel like the rules of the game kind of did restrict him as well, even though his net ability did like kind of make up for it. But
so that is
that's
a
just my.
that is a good point, but he does say like at the start that like the throws will be just as strong as his emitter ball. Like hold on, let me go to the panel. He does say that like after he like deletes that dude's like face.
Yo, I gotta. Can Razor swap places with his doubles? Guy with the monkey. Do y'all remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the
That's
dude.
guy with the monkey.
Yeah, the like the dude with the gorilla powers can do that, but I don't think it would be fair to say that Razor can because he never like displays it. And he was like surprised by that too. You would think if he
Yeah,
had
he
the
was.
same power, he would like be on guard for that. But
In that same scene, it's also implied that Razor's doubles they don't need his direct control. Like Razor can be passed out, and they could still go on.
that's I don't know about that because they're based on his nen, right? So like I mean, we saw that when you run out of nen, you pass out. So like if he's passed out, I don't know if his nen ability would just go on without him. If he died, I think they would though. I think they could become post-mortem nen. But that's debatable too. But like this is the panel here where he says we'll be using a regular ball, though with nen it will be just as destructive as like the throw he did. And I need to look like he might have actually used a spike instead of a throw. Like let me go back and see.
On the Phantom Troop or something else? On the Phantom Troop's boat or something else?
Oh no, this dude he killed. Oh, the dude he,
Use the spike.
on the Phantom Troop he
Yeah.
used a spike, but this dude he kills here, he just chucked it. So like, yeah, like the normal volleyball was as strong as that. But yeah, I forgot like what point we were initially yapping about, to be honest. But yeah, like I would say my argument for base Hisoka winning is just based on like I have Hisoka above Kite, base Hisoka above Kite. And how and I mean that could be its own debate on its own, to be honest.
Definitely.
But
Wait, what? Hisoka above Kite.
to be honest, I never really like put it into words. So like off the top of
Isn't
my
that crazy?
yeah, I never put it into like my honest words on it is just like I just thought he would be stronger, but I haven't really like scaled him out. So that's a debate on its own too. But
Yeah, because me personally, I think that's crazy to say. I'm not gonna lie.
really, like what? So yeah, that would kind of change the debate, but we could talk about it too because that is like the point I was using. Like, why do you think Kite's stronger than Hisoka?
I think it's because Hisoka, right? Like a lot of his attacks, like he doesn't really have any like attacks that are like flashing attacks or like stuff that can like really like damage people with like good defense. Like he just, you know what I mean?
Like,
Well, yeah, but he hasn't really used his cards against anybody that aren't fodder, in my opinion.
Okay.
Right? Like
I mean,
the
how
only-
durable were the Nen puppets that Crollo were creating? Were they like scaling to Crollo's Nen? Could
No,
he?
they were just regular humans that could explode.
But he was creating puppets though, wasn't he? Like creating them with the copy ability.
It was Cortopi's ability, I think.
So I wonder like how durable the puppets were. Were they scaling to Chrollo's Nen? Like
No,
He
they're
convinced Hisoka
right.
that was Chrollo. Like he was fighting them, and he was convinced that he was fighting Chrollo until he killed them, and it was ruse. So
hey, there's
yeah.
that's an idea.
The face swap
but-
ability that he used.
And just really quick, one thing I was thinking about, like for scaling Hisoka versus Kite, I do not think that Kite is stronger than Chrollo. I don't think that Kite is stronger than Zeno either. But despite that, like Chrollo prepared for 100 chapters before fighting Hisoka and used more abilities against Hisoka than he did against Zeno and Silva together. So I mean, stuff like that. I do not think Chrollo would go through the same amount of prep he would
Against Kite?
against Kite. Yeah,
Oh, absolutely. Come on now. What?
I don't think he
Kite
would, bro.
I think Kite completely like counters Chrollo's ability on a one-on-one counter. Yes, Chrollo, he has a lot of variant inside of his book, and a lot of it we haven't seen. But you can say the exact same thing about Kite. And Kite is I feel like Kite is more. It's all connected to one ability. So I feel like the restriction on his ability might give him an edge on having just one ability. And we don't know if he can re-roll in the middle of a fight, but we never seen him do it.
Well, so that is a good point. I mean, maybe I should reword my statement. Like, so the way abilities match up with each other kind of changes things a little bit. But I mean, just in terms of like, who's the overall stronger Nen user, I don't think Kite is overall a stronger Nen user than Chrollo is. Like, he might be a good type matchup, but I don't.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Could argue that
it's all debatable, to be honest. So sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
you could argue that Kite is a higher user than Chrollo because a lot of the spiders, they don't have shit like what's it called? N. They don't N, bro. Like,
yeah,
Kite was really spamming like a 40-meter Nen Master radius for like hours on end, while like the Phantom Troop, they can't even fucking do like basic N.
I don't think that's a good representation of strength, though.
I think it shows Nen mastery.
With Zeno and Silva at the same time without any N feats.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's like what I'm saying is I think Kite is stronger as a Nen user, but I think Chrollo's abilities are just like kind of OP, and that's why he was able to be able to deal with Zeno and Silva. Because when he was fighting them, he wasn't really fighting them. He was kind of just stalling until Illumi killed what's his name, the Don. And then he was just using the owl. I think it was an owl or something. The Nen Beast Master guy, the ones that fought Ulo. He was using that blanket ability and then like a poison dagger to kind of keep them at bay, so they couldn't just go in and attack him.
And just 1 second, guys. We should like bring it back into Hisoka versus Razor. Like the main reason I was saying all that is just like oh yeah, I remember how we got there. It was because I was saying Hisoka's above Kite. Yeah, that is a debate on its own. So I guess I can't use that as a solid point because I was gonna say I think Hisoka's above Kite, and I think Kite's above Razor. So like that was kind of the point I was trying to say, but yeah, if Hisoka versus Kite's debatable, then that's not that strong of a point, right?
Yeah.
But so like let's say that Hisoka and Razor are fighting. You guys are saying you think Razor would just like overwhelm Hisoka with numbers and like eventually trick shot his way to victory, basically?
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the many ways that Razor could probably win. But like, I feel like Razor's his creativity and his like versatility and his ability alone kind of causes for more openings to be open than just the small setting that they were bound to when they were fighting. Like, he can make one big clone, throw another clone who has a mission ball, and like you were saying earlier, if he can make more mission balls, it's gonna be warfare out there. I don't think Bungee Gum can make up for that.
Yeah.
Also, Razor can recall his clones at any time and just get a stat boost. So, like, let's say you're fighting Razor, and he has, like, 7 devils out at, like, half strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
At any while they're jumping you, he could just call back one of them or just spawn another in like a random place to either do a sneak attack or give himself like an AP boost or like a speed boost with his with the nen that he gets from like calling them back. And let's say that makes him fast, right? He could use that to like either get out of a situation or put himself in a situation to attack.
Yeah, I mean, you do have a good point. I don't like he can give himself like mini stat boosts, yes. But like even with all of the devils like recalled back into himself, his spike was still like just kind of relative to Gon's full power rock. But I mean, saying just relative to full power rock is kind of downplay because that move does one shot like most of the characters in the story. So, do you guys think Hisoka could survive getting hit by Gon's rock at that point?
I don't think.
Yeah,
so.
definitely.
Because he did knock out, he knocked out Knuckle even when Knuckle used Ko and Gon was like exhausted. It wasn't a stronger Gon.
The reason why Gon was going to knock out. Oh wait, do you say Knuckle or Morel? Am I deaf?
I said Knuckle. I said Knuckle.
Oh, you said Knuckle. My bad.
Yeah.
Now my point makes no sense.
Oh wait, what were you gonna say about Morel?
Well, I was gonna say that the reason why Gon would knock out Morel is because of his emotion amp.
Oh yeah, that's a way stronger Gon. That's like a different character basically. Yeah.
Like
he was gonna kill Morel. It wasn't even fully charged. It was like at the start of the charge, it was already enough to kill him. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was saying like, did you think he could survive the rock? Basically, the reason I asked that was like, do you think if Razor's spike just hit Hisoka, he would just die? Like, what do you think would happen?
I think instantly he dies.
if it hit him straight up, then I do think he dies because he blocked it with bungee gum. And like he blocked it with bungee gum, he lost 2 fingers, and it still like made his. So like if it hit straight on, I think he's obviously dead. But I think he'll always like at least do some type of like slowing it down with either bungee gum, trying to catch it, or just dodge. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to take like the full thing. But if he did, I think it would kill him.
So another thing I'd like to talk about is like Hisoka's speed is just actually pretty cracked. Like he moved so fast that Goto couldn't keep up with him. Like Goto couldn't see like Hisoka anymore. If they're fighting and Hisoka pulls one of those, like the same move he did that killed Goto, like do you think Razor's gonna be able to handle that?
I think so, because Razor has been shown to like react to speeds far greater than his. His throwing speed should be much faster than his base speed, and he was taking it from a gon, shooting it back with his nin ability. So I think he has like reaction scaling feats that probably not make him a victim in the scenario. But I don't know. You can't really scale Goto to Razor.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Razor's definitely above Goto for sure. Yeah, like one thing I'm thinking, right? Like we see this panel here, like, did Razor throw this? No, he just like smacked the volleyball back at Gon. And then Hisoka was able to counter it with bungee gum. So, I mean, stuff like this makes me think Hisoka's not getting one shot, and it's definitely not going to be like an easy fight by any means.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be challenging. Like, I wonder if he could volley, like, Razor's attacks back at him in the same way, like, with a nen emitter ball. I don't know, but I don't know if
Even then, Hisoka can't catch his throw.
Yeah, he did catch his throw and bounced it back, but even when Hisoka caught it and bounced it back with bungee gum, what's it called? Razor already had reacted to it, and I'm pretty sure he had time to move out the way, but he would have been out because the ball had already hit him, and he was already reflecting it from going.
And like, even when he reflects this ball here, I think Hisoka breaks more fingers as he does it. Like, so, yeah.
Hisoka implies he can't catch the ball when Razor throws it.
Wait, is this an open conversation?
Oh, yeah. Anyone can just, like, say something.
Yeah, Lilos, why does, like, him moving faster than Goto even matter, though?
I was just bringing it up just to, ask you guys if you thought, like... So, a couple things. Like, one, my first question was like, do you think that speed is faster than Killua, like sprinting in a circle? That was it with Godspeed. That was my first question. And then my second question was like, do you think Razor would be able to react to that if like Goto couldn't? Do you think Razor still could?
Do you think like from that version of Gon specifically, do you think he got like so much stronger between the time of which he fights Razor and the time in which he's like has his initiation test with like what's his name? I forget the big dude.
Morel.
The Morale. That like him being able to charge up his jaw Ken for as long as he wants. Like he literally just charges it up to the max, right? Versus like just the start of the jaw Ken from like the Gon from before being above Morale, that like the Gon from start of jaw Ken is stronger than the Gon.
I gotta say something,
Oh,
my man.
whoa. One at a time, guys. One at a time. Well, let him finish his point, please. What were you saying, bro?
One at a time. He's overwhelmed.
Yeah, I just don't want like multiple people at once, you know. What were you saying?
No, I was just saying, do you think that variation of Gon is like massively weaker than the Gon who like makes Morale literally shit himself?
Actually, yeah. Like it's actually like
why?
considerably, yeah. Because
Why?
well, he goes through like a whole year's worth of training in a single month.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, that's fine. That I don't think that necessarily dictates anything because Thor, he could go through this like level of training in a month or whatever. That's perfectly fine. But Ja Ken is just consistently demonstrated to be this like many times amp. So where the start of Ja Ken, where like the one that Knuckle is gonna like take to the chest, like it just knocks him out, right? Versus like going in his base, right? At that point, sitting there, he would just be ragdolled, right? So if he's able to sit there and charge it up to his absolute max versus the start of like a year later Gon, I don't see why there would be like a massive difference between the two.
I still think it's a massive difference just because like throughout the whole series, Gon is just like kind of different. Like he got rage amps even before he learned Nen. Like that's how he was able to break Illumi's arm just from getting angry. Like there's something just weird about Gon where like
Yeah, but Illumi wasn't amping himself with Nen there.
that's true, but it's still insane that he could do that to a Zoldyck stronger than Killua.
I mean, not necessarily. Gon like was already physically on the same tier as Killua.
Nah, not in the same. Not at the start. No.
Yeah, I know you're gonna bring up like the doors. Yeah, Gon like has his arm broken when he tries the doors. So I don't think you can demonstrate that.
Gon did catch that big ass fish. That shit's gone.
Yeah, like that has to be like a ton. Like I'm not gonna lie, I don't think you can demonstrate that like Gon just because his arm was like legit broken and he was fatigued that he couldn't do this thing. Actually, like Gon, when having his arm broken and only being able to train the rest of his body, is just able to do it by himself later on.
Yeah, no, Gon is super strong, but like
he gets like only a couple days of training. So like, yeah, Rage Amp Gon, right? Being able to break Illumi's arm when Illumi's off guard and doesn't know that Gon is at this level of strength because that's just like not normal to see from a little kid, right? Obviously, that isn't crazy to say that Gon's capable of doing this thing. I don't think that that's like a good feat for Gon.
Yeah, but what I think he's trying to argue is that like the thing with Gon is that he just gets like massively stronger depending on his emotions, like in the fight. Like
that's fine. Like Gon's also mentally amped during the fight against Razor. Actually,
yeah, but I wouldn't say it's not. It's not to the same degree as he was with
No,
Kai.
actually, I think it's to a higher degree.
Why do you think why would Gon be mad in this situation though?
Wait, you think it's only anger amps he gets?
Wait, one second. Let's slow down a second. Okay, because we're kind of getting off track here. So like the initial debate is was Hisoka versus Razor, right?
Yeah,
but
I just think that Razor like logically scales above physically.
So yeah, and I agree with that. I do think that like Razor does have overall higher stats than Hisoka, and like I was.
Oh no, we don't agree to the same extent. I think like Razor like absolutely like fondles on Hisoka.
I don't. I don't think so because like Hisoka is a like he's so strong. Chrollo took 100 chapters to prep before fighting him. Like
Yeah, that's fine.
like he
you know,
took
like
he viewed him as like the same tier of fighter as like the Zoldycks combined. Like he's Hisoka's like. Do you think that Razor would just decimate Zeno?
yeah, actually, I'm
Does
actually totally fine with that because Zeno doesn't believe himself to be an equal to like Netero, right?
But like
Netero
almost
views,
no one
like,
is his equal. Almost no one's Netero's equal. Like Netero,
almost no one, but then
Netero would like solo
implications
the
that
Phantom
Morales-
Troop. No, Netero.
I don't think that. But there's implications Morales and the other guy, I forget his name right now.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's wait. Let's pause for a second on that. Wait. Did you said you think Morel is how strong?
I think he's on the same tier as Netero, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we should just pause on that one. Like, let's pause on that
I
one.
mean, Netero just states it, yeah.
No.
Oh yeah, just came late.
Netero just states that he is.
But we like see him get like shook by Netero's Ren, not even his Hatsu. And then another thing is like the Zodiacs are stated to be Netero's sparring partners, and they say that they're stronger than Morel.
Yeah. So
like, do you think all the Zodiac are stronger than Netero?
Oh, what is it called? So for one,
I do not.
I don't think Morel is like gonna beat Netero in a fight. I just think again he's on the same tier. I'm not referencing like, oh yeah,
like
Morel fights Netero, he's gonna win.
One way I interpret it is like I like the highest I'd be willing to say, because I mean they straight up after that statement, Morel's like, Netero was lying to us, right? He's actually still stronger than both of us. Like Morel says that himself, but
he believes he's lying. That doesn't mean Netero was.
But the thing the highest I'd be willing to highball Morel is you could say maybe he has like relative amounts of aura to Netero, maybe like because we saw Morel had 3 times as much aura as Gon, so maybe Netero's like 4 or 5 times as much as Gon. But that's like the highest I'd.
When he says that, do you think that he could also inherently be in referencing like a theoretically stronger Netero? Like maybe he just doesn't know how strong Netero is right now, right? Because previously, right, they're having this conversation where obviously Morel is making these knowledge claims that he doesn't have knowledge on because Netero like legit says himself like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about, little bro, right? Because Morel's like, you're the strongest like hunter we have, and then Netero's like, whoa, chill on that. I don't know about all that. I haven't been the strongest hunter in like 30 years.
But
Morel's like,
well, 1 second, Apple. 1 second, bro. Because like,
yeah.
I mean, Morel versus Netero, that's not a close fight because it's like Morel's displayed nothing that would imply he could even react to the Buddha hands. Because like, I mean, think of it like this: like Meruem.
The Buddha hands are stronger against Miriam. Netero trains.
You're saying
I'm only in referencing like beginning a series Netero, not the Netero that trains or like prime Netero.
Still, I don't think that his Hatsu would become like.
Why? Yeah, you're gonna make a statement you're never gonna be able to prove.
Okay, wait, like so, I just think it's a crazy claim to like say that. Well, I shouldn't say crazy claim. I'll just word it like this. From what we saw in Netero display, yes, he did train on the mountaintop, but we don't know how much stronger that training made him, right? Like that's kind of unquantifiable.
Yeah, that training made him below P2 level to above P2 level. So we do. We have a really good right. He would definitively lose to P2 he would definitively beat P2 and then actually be able to fight the king on some sort of even level playing field in the sense of like he can hit the king and stuff with his Buddha arms. Right?
But I mean we don't know if his like total aura increased or anything. Like he could have just here's a way you could think of it. The narrator says like when he was in the mountaintops, right? Like he was preparing his zero hand. Like you could literally go as far as to say all he did was just charge up zero hand. You could make that argument.
Sure, like, but that if you want to do that, right? It would just be like I would say, okay, well, yeah, that's fine.
But Apple
hand got stronger.
1 second.
And then, like,
Apple, 1 second. I think other people wanted to say a few things.
Yeah, my fault.
It's okay.
I just wanted to make a point about what you said about that zero hand statement.
Mhm.
I think it's fair to say that he like decreased the amount of time that it would take for him to like do like a slap move or like a punch, like when he spawns his like his Buddha statue, because when he was fighting Meruem, like he would basically be able to like smack him away in like 0.001 second or whatever, and like that's like the same speed that he trained his like regular punch to like be able to do, because like the whole training was him doing a bunch of punches and seeing how like fast he can get the punch. And I think that translated to his Hatsu being able to like punch at in like 0.001 second.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
That's all I want to clear up.
Oh no, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, because like it looked like he made his Buddha hand like a conditional nen where he has to do the prayer motion first. But yeah, and like I don't want to stray too long on Netero versus Morel, but just my overall statement on it from what we saw, there's no way in the world Morel survives like even a couple seconds. Like
against that variation of Netero, sure. Also, I just thought of something. Netero would have to get like his physical strength up to be able to even fight against Miriam here, because we see the one dude, right, experience like Netero's aura, and he's fine. The same dude experiences P2. I don't even know if it was actually P2. It might have been the other guy. I think it was P2. He experiences P2's aura, and he like
it was poof.
He goes crazy, right? Like he literally goes crazy.
He was in Zetsu though.
Are you talking about the Fox guy, the Fox Chimera ant?
No, he's talking about how Nove saw Netero's Ren, and then and then he also saw Poof's N, and then lost his mind. But it's because like he was in Zetsu, and got hit by like the aura directly.
Yeah, that's fine. I just don't think that like in like the same thing, right? He still has felt Netero's aura before, right? Like he directly felt it.
Right? But I'll just be out. Like another thing I want to say really quick is I don't think Netero's aura is still like very likely below Pito's, because he hit Pito in the face with Hatsu and it didn't do damage. Like that shows like a gap in stats.
Except P2 flying back. I don't.
But Pito took
damage directly against like Miriam too. Like once he hits him enough times, like
it took foul.
It took you in the face right now, Lilos. Right, you're not gonna first show damage even if I'm stronger than you. Like I can have like
that is not true.
Guy punch me in the gut and you wouldn't see damage from me.
That is definitely
It is so true. Do you want me to show you UFC fighters punching each other in the face and it taking 3 to 4 punches for them to even start bleeding in the lip?
So I mean that's like
I do this all the time. I literally do wrestling and BJJ and boxing.
I mean,
I do this all the time.
So that's like a real world application trying to define like a fictional series. I'm saying like in the series itself that's not been shown. Like we don't see.
I mean, if you want to demonstrate it not being shown, that like people tanking who are relative, like.
I mean, yeah, I can do that. Like we saw.
I think it has been shown before.
I mean, that's kind of like how Nen combat was shown to work, though, right? Like, if your output is higher than someone else's, you hurt them. If it's not, you don't do damage. Like, that was stated by Killua against Genthru's goon.
Yeah, I don't think that works on relativity, though. Like, I think that's like that's referring to two, like, obviously, like, big extremes. Whereas, like, relativity can be different. So it could be like, yeah, like if there's an 80% difference versus a 20% difference, like
wait, one second,
always win.
1 second, Apple, because like wait, what is the point you're making? The point you were making is
a bell curve.
No, like the original point you were making was that it was about Pito. Your point is that Pito did take damage from Netero's Buddha hand, even though Pito displayed no damage at all.
Yeah, so you're kind of making an argument from ignorance here, right? So like it's kind of like, okay, just because we don't see him directly take damage or like we don't see visible damage on him isn't an indicator that he doesn't, right? Like he's still flying back, he isn't able to catch himself, he's sent through a building and stuff, right? So obviously the implication here is that he probably did damage him in some way, shape, or form.
I mean, so my statement on that is, if Netero had more aura, like, let me put it to you like this: if you have more aura than someone, you can just one shot them. That's why that's what.
If you have like that, I've already counted this, right? If it's a bell curve type of difference, I don't think if like you have 2 aura points, I have 1 aura point, you're gonna one shot me.
No, that's. I mean, it's shown like the gaps. Like for example,
Yeah, could you show me it? Yeah.
yeah, like so, we saw Yuppie was capable of one-shotting Knuckle with just a simple punch, even though
Yeah,
Knuckle.
because I don't. Yuppie's like a 10 and Knuckle's like a 3.
Well, the other thing is like,
Whose relative in this happens to them?
okay, wait, let me finish my point. Okay, so
Yeah, my apologies.
it's okay, and cool off a little bit, bro. You're getting heated. Like, chill a little bit.
Oh, I'm not heated. I promise you. This is just how I speak to people in general.
Yeah, just cool it a bit. So
My apologies.
so like, yeah, Yuppie was strong enough to one-shot Knuckle, even though Knuckle had like an aura like buff from APR, because APR, it's like when it builds up interest, you have to pay back all of that interest before Knuckle takes damage. And during that scene, I'm not sure how much the interest had built up, but I think it was in the thousands. And like, we know Yuppie had around 700,000 aura, and he was just doing like a simple punch. So like, it was, you know, how much of it actually went through. Like basically what I'm saying is like, we've seen you can one-shot people if you have more aura than them. Like Gon one-shot Genthru, for example, and Gon was weaker than Genthru.
Well, okay. Well, the reason Gon's able to one-shot Genthru is because he has massively more aura. I'll give you an example.
I actually don't think Gon had more aura than Genthru. I think like
he definitely does.
Rock
He does.
does.
John Ken.
Yeah, but it's like, we saw John Ken capped at like 2,000 aura of damage, and Gon's like normal punches were like, I don't remember the number. I think like the way Knuckle described it was like Gon's normal Ken punches in Chimera Anthark. The debate's gone on a long tangent. I'm sorry, everyone in the stream, but after this point, we'll go back to Hisoka versus Razor. Okay, but yeah. We saw Gon's Ken punches were stated to be, I think, 1,800 in his normal attacks, and then John Ken was stated to be 2,000, and then him like chanting John Ken makes it slightly above 2,000. To be honest, I think like Togashi didn't think that math out too much, because it's saying like a punch of like 2,200 is enough to one-shot someone, but the punch of like 1,800 can be easily countered by Knuckle. So like,
Yeah, I think then
But-
number, you may think of the numbers linearly, and they can just not be linear numbers.
so that would show like if you have like just 200, 400 more aura points than someone, you could one-shot them by that means, by that math.
Yeah, sure.
And-
but
and-
aura points might not be linear to actual aura. So like his understanding of aura points or how it works for APR, right, may not be like an actual representation of aura in of itself.
But
so we can have like.
but hold on, Appo. Like, we literally see it does that though, because he says like, he says Morel has 70,000. Let's say he has 10 times as much as Morel, then he would be at 700,000. Like, Knuckle legit says that. So like, based off of that, we see that if you just have like even a little more aura than someone, based off of this math, you could do serious damage. Despite that,
Yeah, but what representation of that is there? Like, I'm asking for an actual representation of somebody like relative to somebody, right? In which they get like
well,
one shot.
I can
or
give
even
you,
have,
I
like,
can give you a really good one. Killua knocks Gon out, just with like Ko to the back of the head, knocks him out, and they were like,
Yeah, because like Gon wasn't paying attention.
but that's an example of what you asked for, right?
Nor was Killua relative. Nor is Killua relative to Gon.
They're straight up like stated actually to be like almost completely equal.
What?
During the Greed Island when they train Ryu, like Ryu
Yeah,
spot
and then Killua gets the needle out of his eye.
Killua one shot him before the needle.
Did he? Really?
Yeah.
I would still say that like
But, like, that's- but-
Gon being off guard, it could just literally be going off guard.
Hold on, let's slow down a second, because that was an example of what you asked for, right?
No, because Gon's off guard.
But like it still happened. Like that is
Yeah, but Gon's off guard. So like Gon could be only using 2 aura points right now when he could be using 5, and then Killua is using 5 aura points. We don't know.
I think there's more examples than just that. Like,
Okay. Yeah, give me something that's more
Gon was charging up
I mean,
Ren still.
what? Yeah, what did you say? 221? What did you say, bro?
I said Gon was charging up Ren as well, so it's not like he was completely off guard. He was getting ready to fight before.
Yeah, he was like charging up, like enraged, ready to fight, and like Killua using Ko one shot him, like KO'd him.
Wait, show the scene. What chapter do you think it's
Stream the scene. Stream the scene. Stream the scene.
I mean, it's I'll take a bit. I mean, but yeah, like the whole, like here's the thing. The whole point of bringing that up was like you're saying that you genuinely think Netero had more aura than Pito when he fought Pito, or like about the same amount. And my point is, I think Pito still had considerably more because like, can you name another example of someone just taking like a straight up Hatsu ability like that straight to the chest and like not showing any damage? Like, is there examples of that? Because we even what I'm saying is Netero swatted Pito with a Buddha hand, right? And Pito showed no scratches.
Miriam.
Yeah, and Meruem said, like, there's dialogue that says Netero was a toddler compared to Meruem. A toddler.
Yeah, and then like
So like, do you think like
he's still able to damage him.
okay, so like based on that, right? If Netero's a toddler compared to Meruem, and you think he's like on par with Pito still, I think Netero could beat Pito due to skill, not based on just raw stats. Like I think
I think either of them could beat each other. Like I think Netero's faster, Pito's probably a little physically stronger. That'd be an interest. Zero Hand would just beat Pito.
But I mean, but the fact that Pito took Buddha Hand to the chest and like showed no scratches, no like visible damage, that is a big sign that like Pito's stats are higher, right? That Pito's like overall aura is higher. That's like what that heavily implies for sure. Because I mean, and like you were asking for scenes, and it's like I thought of one off the top of my head, but you didn't like that one. I could probably I can think of more. Like I mean, there's like it's all throughout the series. Like a great example is Gon fought the owl and bat chimera ant, took dozens of attacks and took no damage from it, and it's because he had like higher aura. Like that's straight up stated by Melioron. So it's,
no, I don't think you understand what I was trying to ask you for you to do. I'm trying to talk about like somebody who's relative to somebody, right? With their first attack or something, massively damaging them. Because what's in question is like, oh, well, is Netero, on P2's level? And it's like, well, Netero's able to hit P2 and knock him away. Well, P2 doesn't show damage. And I'm like, oh, well, like, that's fine. You don't have to show damage in your first, like, time being hit by somebody.
yeah, I think let's go ahead and put a pin in that for now. That was a fun debate, but like, let's get back to Hisoka versus Razor. So, my like overall my stance on it for this debate, I still do think that even with everything we've said today, I think that post-mortem Nen Hisoka would still be above Razor. And I think like Hisoka versus like normal Hisoka versus Razor is debatable, but what was I saying? But for the stream, I'm saying that I think Hisoka would win. Let me try and give an argument for how I think Hisoka could win. I think normal Hisoka, I think like his best chance would have to be like kind of ignore the Nen beasts. I think he would have to just aim for Razor directly and try to like, yeah, honestly, the more I speak about it, it seems hard. I don't know how Hisoka would, because he would kind of have to like use his speed, like do the same thing he did against Goto, like zipping around and like find a way to land a lethal blow while dodging probably multiple dodgeballs. It would be very challenging. So yeah, I mean, the more I debate it out loud, I do want to just lean more towards Razor being above normal Hisoka, to be honest with you guys. But I still have postmortem Nen Hisoka above him just because like he scales above postmortem Nen Chrollo. So, yeah. I mean, like, the more I debate it out loud... Oh, wait, can you guys still hear me? Can you...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, the more I debate it out loud, my honest thoughts on it now is I do think I have Postmortem Nen Hisoka above normal Razor and then normal Razor above Hisoka. But I wanted to debate Hisoka being above Razor, but it's just like the more I speak about it, the harder it gets. It's like I don't really know if Hisoka would be able to dodge multiple dodgeballs. If he's only limited to doing one emitter ball at once, like he can only maintain one emitter ball at once, then his chances of victory increase a lot. He might be able to like zip and speed his way over to him using what he did against Goto to kill Goto. And like he might be able to like just... I don't see him one-shotting Razor either the way he did Goto. But like, yeah, he would just have to like hit multiple blows and do like some tricky Hisoka stuff. Like have cards set about like stabbing into him, doing like kind of the stuff he did against Castro where he had like multiple cards like bungee gun propel into Razor. But the more I speak about it out loud, I can't really see. I don't think it's likely. I do actually think Razor would beat normal Hisoka, but I have Postmortem Nen Hisoka above him. So I'm more or less agreeing with you guys, to be honest. I don't know. Is there anything you guys wanted to add to Hisoka versus Razor? Anyone?
I just also don't think we have enough information about Razor to kind of do a full...
We really don't, Lilos.
I mean, yeah, like, we know that however strong Razor's true full power is, it's lower than Jing, but so is, like, pretty much the entire cast. We also know his spike is relative to Gon's Rock. And I'm looking in the live stream chat, we see someone say, could Hisoka use Razor's, like, attacks against him, like, propel them at him? I don't know. Would Razor just, like, turn the emitter ball off? Can he do that? Like, after he's thrown it? He probably could. But what do you guys think? Do you guys have any more arguments for Hisoka versus Razor? Anyone in the chat? No, I think kind of the final consensus everyone's reaching is Razor above normal Hisoka. Do you guys disagree with Postmortem Nen Hisoka being above Razor?
Lilos, there's also conversation within the debate VC 1. There's like a little chat that you can see people's opinion in.
Okay. Like people are typing stuff?
Yes, Lilos.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just limit it to this voice chat, and then I'm also looking at the live stream chat too. I see Weary said Lilo, another argument, Razor required Jing to take him down. That's a feat in his favor. Yeah, Razor is cracked. I mean, another last ditch effort for Hisoka is like he was just never interested in Razor. And he tends to be interested in people he views as very powerful. So that's something. But yeah, I mean, after this debate, I still think it's like an extreme diff fight, but I would lean more towards Razor like beating base Hisoka and Postmortem Nen Hisoka above Razor. Does anyone in the here, like on the voice call, disagree with that? Nope. Okay. So yeah, I think that'll be it for the debate. Was there any last thing anyone wanted to say? Nope. Okay.
Chicken bone.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, thank you everybody for doing that. I'm just going to be reading stuff from the poll, but yeah, feel free to like stick around in the chat, and thanks everybody for being part of the voice call. All right. So I will end. Okay, so here I'm opening the chat on my phone. Did you guys like that like voice debate? Did you guys enjoy that? Now we'll look at the poll. Now we will look at the poll, and I'll just read some of these top comments because, yeah, after that whole debate, like I do lean more towards I do lean more towards like Razor beating base Hisoka, but I don't see him beating postmortem Nen Hisoka. Just because I don't see him beating postmortem Nen freaking Crollo. Yeah, and I know I missed a bunch of comments in the live stream chat. I'm just kind of scrolling through them. I was seeing people say someone said, "Am I banned? Just answer me." Oh no, that's your username. Am I banned? Just answer me as your username. Is that a username or were you typing that? I don't know. Or is that like a bot? I don't even know what I'm looking at. I'm just scrolling through the comments in the live chat really quick, and then we're going to read off these comments from the poll. Ronaldo, you said stop letting him interrupt you, man. Yeah, I was trying to be polite. Sorry I didn't see your comment earlier. Yeah. Just reading these comments. Gerald said Gon and Killua are relative in Chimera Ant. Sean said Pito had more aura than Netero. It's not even a question. I agree with that, Sean. I 100% agree with that. Someone said Netero is not even close to Meruem. I agree. Netero is overrated. I don't think he's... Well, I would say... I don't think Netero's really that overrated. Like, he's super strong. But I don't... My honest thoughts, I don't think he's actually number 1 hunter. I think he's, like, in the top 5. Especially based off of, like, that chart Bisky gave where she's, like, people who are close in power can beat each other. Like, I'm just catching up on the YouTube live chat. I missed a lot of these. I'm sorry. I'm reading all these comments. People are saying, Lilo, please answer us. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I was just like looking. So I was in the Discord chat on my phone, and I was using that for audio, and I was using that to like look at who was speaking. So I'm sorry that I missed all these YouTube comments at the same time. Maybe we need to get like chat moderators for like these, because we'll do a bunch of these debate live streams. Like, we might be able to do them every day now, to be honest. So if you didn't get to hop into this one, we'll do another one tomorrow. You could hop in that. If you guys know Restless Gambler, I'm trying to get him into another stream where me and him just yap about Hunter x Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm trying to get him to hop in that. But yeah, what did you guys think about that voice chat? That was my first, well, yeah, that was my first time, I think, doing that for Hunter x Hunter. I did one of those in a One Piece stream once, I think. Actually, I remember I did do this one other time somehow. We said I definitely need mods. Yeah, it would be good to have mods. But did you guys enjoy that like voice chat debate or not really? Let me know what you guys thought about that. Let me know if there's ideas you have to improve that. Dawnbreaker said, I kind of did, but it really felt like the guy you were debating was just trying to argue and was constantly needing proof or evidence on every point that you made. Really felt like he was just sort of arguing to argue. Yeah, I can see that too. Melvin said, postmortem Nen Hisoka versus Jing. Definitely Jing. Anno said, I think Meruem might actually be overrated once we see what the top 5 Nen users are capable of. If the Zodiac can really take down Meruem and the Royal Guard, the top 5 are probably crazy. Yeah, that's actually a very interesting idea. Anime Monarch said he has an off-topic question. We said, Eric said it was cool. We said, I love the voice chat debate. The guy just wasn't listening to you. Eric said, let the audience debate each other and you be the moderator. That would be interesting too. That's actually a really good idea. Letting the audience debate. I should have done that. Next time we can do that a little bit. Good idea. Let the audience debate and then I just moderate it. That's a good idea. But okay, so let's and Marquis said it was cool. Okay, sick. Thank you. So now let's just look at some of these top comments. Like Hisoka won the poll. And let's see the top comments. So Issa Kameen said, my only reason I feel like Hisoka would even stand a chance is because he didn't show much interest in fighting him. Yeah, that's something I was thinking too. Considering he goes for the best he can find, but at the same time, Razor most likely wouldn't go for it, and Hisoka knew that. Jeremy Holland said Hisoka would win because Bungee Gum has both the properties of rubber and gum. Eddie says the fact that it took Jing to bring Razor in is wild on its own right. Then Razor's not only summons his pets while going against Gon, Killua, and Hisoka, but Razor was also keeping the entire Greed Island running with his aura. That's more on the theory side, but I see what he's saying. He said all at the same time while just giving our three guys a hard time. I think Razor has this for sure. Even the Phantom Troop said they had to be careful around this guy. Good point. And can't remember them saying that about Hisoka. Good point. Sports and stuff said the Hisoka glazing is high here. Lost Lanes said Razor is a hunter, but Hisoka is a predator. It's an insane comment. Star-Crossed Warrior said everyone seemed to point to Hisoka, but narratively Razor should just be way stronger and more experienced considering Jing respected his power. It's a very good point. Like, I think Razor technically has been a Nen user probably longer. Like, he seems like he's I think Razor might be older than Jing. I don't know though. 27 said Razor totally has more aura, but Hisoka just has the sauce. The Soda Pop said it depends on if Razor is only strong on the island or not. The theory is that Razor is so strong because of a Nen contract to only stay on the island to guard it. Maybe that's why Hisoka had no interest in him. Oh, that's actually an interesting theory too. And Bright Knight said it can go either way, both amazing fighters, but of course people in the comments think Hunter x Hunter is Dragon Ball, where Hisoka or Razor one-shots each other. Yeah, that's an interesting point. Very interesting. And I'll read this one and then this one, and then that'll be it for these. Silk says, I think we all forgot that Razor was able to go toe-to-toe in dodgeball match with Killua, Gon, and Hisoka. Now, I know this isn't an actual fight, but Razor was able to deflect the dodgeball enhanced by Gon's John Ken with basic Yo. Not only that, he had enough aura to create a small army of Nen beasts and still fight with Nen. And then Disco String said, plot-wise, Hisoka would win. Honest likelihood, Razor blows him out of the water. I don't think Razor would blow him out of the water. I think it'd be extreme diff. And I'll just read the top paragraph here. Razor has more raw Nen output and very likely higher capacity than even post-mortem Nen Hisoka. If it was a fight of just stats, he'd probably win every time, but that's not how Hisoka fights at all. Wait, let me see what else he says. Oh, it's pretty long. He says, I'd say Hisoka would take it 60-40 with his losses largely coming from Razor overwhelming him before he could execute a plan. Interesting points. But yeah, that was a pretty in-depth debate. I'm sorry I didn't really debate many of these comments, like, because we kind of went through like a lot of these points during the voice chat. But yeah, I think that's everything we'll do for today's stream. Was there anything else you guys wanted to yap about real quick in the chat? Because I think that's about everything. Everything I wanted to go over. But yeah, I'm still sticking, like, after having that debate, I think it would go post-mortem Nen Hisoka's the strongest out of these guys. Then you have Razor. Then you have normal Hisoka. That's my stance on it. But if Razor really was powering the whole island with his Nen, then even like post-mortem Nen Hisoka might lose to like a hypothetical like Razor that absorbed all of the Greed Island spell card aura into himself. He'd be like a Netero tier fighter at that point, or relative to Netero. Which is so, like, that's really debatable. I don't know if Razor really actually is that strong. That's like the highest highball of Razor, is that he'd be like somewhere close to Netero level with all of the aura from Greed Island, but still weaker than Jing. So he'd pretty much just be like a really strong, super strong Zodiac, basically. But Suki said, are you going to do more Full Metal? You know what, bro? I really should. Like, the thing with Full Metal Alchemist was, I did Ed versus Al just for fun, and I didn't expect that video to do well at all. I thought no one would watch it. And during the Ed versus Al, that was like all of the scaling I wanted to do, but there is more scaling I could do. I just haven't read Full Metal Alchemist like since I made that video. Like, that was the last time I read it. I read the whole series and like watched the whole series just to make that video again. Like, I mean, I had already seen the series a bunch of times in the past. But when I wanted to make that video, I reread the whole thing. And then I haven't read it again since then, which was like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago or something. But yeah, I could do more Full Metal. Like I could do like Ed versus Scar. Like end of series Ed versus Scar would be interesting. But yeah, well, let me look at anime. Oh, I'm looking at these comments. Anime Monarch said, from what I understand, the Nen Needle activates when Killua fights someone equal or stronger than him. So how did he blitz Ramot when he removed it? Did Killua get stronger after removing it? Was Ramot actually weaker than Killua? If so, why did the needle activate? So it was like Killua's confidence increased when he removed the Nen Needle. Like, it was stated that his confidence increased. And him just being more confident might have made him a little stronger. And there's also a line of dialogue where, I don't know if it's in the anime, and it might have been a mistranslation, but like, there's a line of dialogue where Killua said, like, he was talking about the Nen Needle, and he said, I've never truly fought someone before. Like, meaning like he was always fighting like with like an assassin. He had never fought like a hunter before. So like you're seeing the difference between Killua fighting like an assassin and Killua fighting like a hunter. Like he's just taking chances, taking risks. But like him one-shotting Ramot, I would say that's because he got a lot stronger from his training with Bisky. Because that was after he had trained with Bisky for a month. And we also see Gon one-shotting Officer Rance after that, too. That's my answer to it. It's like, he got a lot stronger during his month with Bisky. So that's why he could one-shot him there. Kona said, Lilo not sleep-deprived, impossible. True. But, alright guys, I think that's it for this stream. I got more stuff I'm going to post today. I might go and do a video game live stream right now where I stream some Street Fighter. I got other stuff I got to do too. Like, I need to record some videos. I got to record the Zodiac versus Royal Guard, and I got to record. Oh yeah, and I need to write out Palace Hunters versus Phantom Troop. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get Zodiac versus Royal Guards posted this weekend. But I want to post like 2 more things today, like a gaming live stream and then maybe a short as well. But alright guys, that's everything. Oh wait, First Wave, you said I'm ignoring your comment. What did you say? You said you had all the Razor defenders on voice call. Of course you're leaning Razor. Now we need Hisoka stands to balance it out. True, yeah. That was a lot of people on Razor's side. But it was still a fun debate. But alright you guys, that's everything for today's stream. We're gonna do a gaming one in a little bit here, so if you guys tune in for that, I'll see you over there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.